The Weekend Breakfast Show, 7am till 10am, Saturday and Sunday, with DJ Foz on Dorset's Riviera Radio.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hello, everybody. Didn't say it. Good news. I have got some good news. We've only got 3 more matches. And even better news is we only have to do this for 2 of them because one of them's midweek. Tom, I've got past being, well, I am going to be angry because I'm going to say a few things tonight, but really, I'm just fed up now.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit fed up, aren't we, mate? I mean, the good news is, like you say, come Tuesday night, it'll probably all be said and done. The fat lady would have probably sung then. I don't know. It still doesn't really feel real to me yet. I have moments where I kind of go, oh, it's happening. And then I kind of just forget about football and go on to something else, right? And I think it'll feel more real on Tuesday night after the result, probably. And there may be some anger.
I mean, I've got to a point, I think, where I'm just accepting it. You know, when we went down from the Premier League, it went down to the last game.
Yeah.
And if only, Bournemouth had done something against Everton, we could have stayed up. That was disappointing. It's been like a slow death by 1,000 needles, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not exactly come out of nowhere, has it? You know, I mean, the signs were there from the first game of the season with just the performance, and ultimately, performances don't ultimately get you the prizes of points, but there's normally a trend between the two, right? Isn't there? And we were in a false position early in the season, and I think a lot of us were a bit concerned then, which is why the pressure came onto Marty, and we've ended up right down here where we probably deserve to be because we have been that bad, unfortunately.
There you go. The fat lady is getting ready to sing. How do to every few people that are in the chat already? Fenris is in, Slibo is in, although he did do a Steve on the match and left after the first goal went in. Well, the only goal. But having said that, I don't blame him. Lucky sod could do that. I was thinking during the watch along, we were just saying, Tom, take over, mate. I'm off.
Yeah, it's a bit like it. You got to protect your mental health a bit with these things.
Well, yes, you have. I mean, I finished my therapy and literally, seriously, I had therapy about 2 years ago, not for football, but I don't want to particularly go back to it. But yeah, the fat lady singing. I think last time we went down, it was kind of not so sudden, but again, kind of expecting it because we'd had 3 or 4 seasons where we were just awful.
But yeah, exactly. It's been a culmination of many years. I can't even remember the last good performance we probably put out there. I think it's been that long since we've actually seen anything positive, I can't remember the figures off the top of my head, but it's something ridiculous. Like we only had 20 home wins in 80 games or something, isn't it? It's really that horrendous, mate, that you sort of get jaded by the whole time it's taken to get to what we perceive will be rock bottom. I'm not even sure we're at rock bottom yet, which is the concern.
No, I don't. I don't think we are either. And, I'm going to say, I've seen it come up and I'm thinking, what the fuck? Fox's end of season awards.
Yeah, I know. At this point, you kind of think, well, wouldn't you just sack it off completely and just not do it because it's just really poor timing? But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things at a football club that is just told they've got to do, right? And they tell the media team, you've got to put this stuff out. And it shows the disconnect of it all and the lack of what is perceived to be empathy towards the fan base. And I think that's why we've seen a lot of aggression coming out recently.
Yeah, it has. But like you say, you would look at this and go, bad timing. Don't bother doing it this season. It's like when they've lost every game in November and December, but they still have a Christmas party. You get it. We both work for companies that have to do Christmas parties, and even if we're struggling and not doing well, you still have your Christmas party. But then we're not in the public eye like the players are.
It's like when they do goal of the month awards and there's only been 3 goals scored in the month, and you think, well, what's the point? Because two of them are tap-ins and one of them's a penalty.
Yes, exactly. I'll vote for the women instead of they've not been doing a lot better. We will be doing similar on this channel. Do you know who was it who did I think it was probably Channel 4 that did a take of an award show. It'll be along those lines. Let me just say that.
So it'll be like the Razzies to the Oscars. We're going to do the Leicester Razzies.
Yes, yeah. So we will be doing something. It will be the worst of, and the most hurtful and all that. So yeah, we will be doing that at some point. I can't say. I mean, Hull. These are the games that we've just seen. Are the games that we should have been getting something from. I mean, all right, I've got to say, you look at Portsmouth, who 4 or 5 week games ago were the worst team in the division on performance. And now they've gone out and beaten the team that's just got promoted. Well, they drew with the team, didn't they? Sorry. They drew with the team that just got promoted. Was it draw? They drew with No. They played Ipswich and Middlesbrough. Yeah. That's it.
And they beat both of them, yeah.
And they beat both of them. And you're thinking, fuck's sake, where everybody else has done it, but we can't. And let me go back to the point that what was the point of sacking Marty? I mean, people have said he's lost the dressing room. Well, I don't think Gary's necessarily got it.
No, I think the problems go beyond the manager, don't they? I think the reason we sacked him was because there was a decline, and there was very much the point where, the players weren't responding to him, right? And I think when you're in that position, you kind of got to make a choice. Yeah, good idea, Chris. My voice is going already. Haven't even ranted yet. Hang on 1 second. Let me cough for a minute.
That's all right. You cough away.
There we go.
Sorry, do carry on then.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I think it was a change that needed to happen, unfortunately, because it was very much apparent once again the dressing room wasn't behind the manager, something which we've heard sung from the hymn sheet many times this year, And I think the problem is that you need a bit of luck. Look, we haven't had much luck, but then you do make your own luck as well. And the way the club's been run hasn't helped that at all. But if you look at West Brom, for example, they made a horrendous appointment, Eric Ramsey, didn't they? He was a terrible bringing across from the MLS. I think it was Minnesota he was at, and came in and just couldn't get a result for them, did pretty much what Rowett's been doing for us. So they end up having to fall on their version of Andy King, Morrison, right? And for some reason, he's managed to strike a tune. With the financial problems the clubs had, we needed a little bit of luck, maybe with Kingy being able to step in and do it. And also with Rowett, interesting enough, Chris, just to quickly diverge a bit further, I think it's similar to when Steven Gerrard went to Aston Villa. He didn't take Beale with him, did he? Rowett's not brought a lot of his support staff he had at Oxford, I just realised the other day as well. So is it once again, we've just had a pauper's sort of amount of money to spend, and we've ended up in Primark clothing the whole way?
Yeah, it's a good point. Again, but for the way I look at it is, how much did it cost us to sack Marty Cifuentes? Because he was on this 3-year contract, I believe, that every manager that we employ we seem to give to. So giving him this 3-year contract, we sacked him. We probably owe him money because he's paid to join us, and I'm sure part of that would have been, well, look, if you sack me, you give me that back. With the financial problems we've got, that's cost us.
Yeah, massively so, Chris, massively so. But it makes you wonder, like, this is the problem, isn't it? Because of the money situation, that has compounded everything we've done this year, from the managers to the transfers and players you'll be able to bring in. It's mostly been loans, you know. And as we've talked about, would we have been attracted an Aaron Ramsey in here or Jordan James? They didn't have this injury history that seems to follow them around, you know. We're having to take gambles on things. And we haven't got any security in anything we've done this year as a consequence, right? We have not been able to bring in a manager and an entire coaching staff, you know. That's where the football club rightly gets pelters, because the football club didn't have the foresight in the management to go, we need a plan A, a plan B, a plan C financially. So if these things happen, we're not going to get ourselves in a mess. And then it's all hit us all at once. It's led to what's going to be a double relegation, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, planning that I'm going to be on Talk Sport recording on Wednesday. So do myself and another Leicester channel. It's going to be a big Leicester thing, apparently. How big, I don't know yet. But check that out. It will be on podcast. It'll also be going out live sometime on Thursday, live as well. I'm sure they'll be looking into everything. And I still say everything that's gone wrong goes back to us winning the Premier League.
I'm not sure it goes back that far, Chris. I think it comes back to the end of Brendan Rodgers' time here.
I don't, because I think from that point, our whole persona as fans and as the club as well changed. We suddenly weren't this team that could go and shop in the second division of league in France, or or get the Jamie Vardys from the conference. The fans wouldn't have accepted it. And, let's be honest with you, the club didn't want to. The club wanted to move forward. We just won probably the biggest prize in sport. We just done the biggest surprise in sport, 5,000 to 1 and all that. And suddenly, you're taking a little club, and Leicester, little old, and I'm saying little, I'm not belittling us, no. But we were known as little old Leicester, that used to go and find these little, gems. And I think a lot of that had to do with Steve Walsh leaving as well, because that was he was brilliant at that. He went to Everton and couldn't do it at Everton.
No,
that was a funny thing. And Everton players or fans always say to me, bloody hell, he'd got them all for you at Leicester. But I think that's where it started to go wrong. I really do. Because, it's that crossroads. And do you now say, right, we want to try and get into Europe every season? Or do you say, we're going to struggle, but look, we stayed up. Not only did we stay up, but we won the damn thing. Let's now try and maybe, always be top half. I say the fans expected us to say, well, we're always going to go and try for Europe. The club wanted to as well. And I think that is where it went wrong. Other things thrown into the mix. I don't think this would have happened necessarily if Vichai hadn't passed away. Rest in peace. There's a lot of things in there, but I think for me that's where I started to see the club change.
Yeah, I think that's where you can definitely start to say that the decisions being made behind the club were wrong, because I can look at another club that had a similar sort of thing to us. That'd be Brighton. Brighton aren't in Europe this year. Brighton have been in Europe, I think the thing is that when we were Premier League champions, of course, it was still 10 years ago now, and it was a different footballing world. The money side of it wasn't as important at that point because there wasn't so much restriction around PSR as there is nowadays. You probably could splash a lot of cash as an owner. We've had to adjust into that world, which our owners weren't used to as well. And I think the problem there is, I don't think it's a case of not being in Europe. I would have wanted the club to operate itself in the way and get on board with the way things work in a way that Brighton did, and go, okay, we're still going to follow the path we were on before. We're not going to go out and spend X amount of millions on many players. I know what you're saying, Chris, but it's perception of,
I am going to disagree 110% with you there.
I disagree with you then. We're going to disagree
that's fine. I want you to disagree with me. That's what it's all about, I'm not saying that your opinion isn't valid and it doesn't carry some weight. I just see it in a different way. And I just see that whenever anybody throws Brighton at me or throws Bournemouth at me, they've not been at it for 10 years. Where were Brighton when we were winning the Premier League?
They were winning promotion to the Premier League.
Yeah, but exactly. So they were just starting out. So, they've got, there were a couple of seasons behind us, So all this sort of, Brighton are doing it this way. well, we'll see where they are when that time comes. Do you know what I mean? But then what have Brighton gone on and won since they've done this? Nothing.
Very, very true, very true. But then you could argue we'd won the things we'd won, but then we'd have a more stable football club now. We could have years like Brighton have where they go, okay, we're in 9th or 10th. We might sneak into a European Conference League place or a Europa League place by the end of the season. We might have a cup run and get to a semi-final here. I think I'd be very satisfied with that as a Leicester fan. I think that's what
I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't argue with that at all. And that that's what I'm saying. If we hadn't won the damn thing, expectations wouldn't have been quite as high. And yes, it led on to the decisions we made afterwards. One of which was, let's get Brendan Rodgers in. And look, I know it all went wrong at the end, but that was some of the best football we played. I'll always be grateful for him, as I was with Claudia, for winning the bloody FA Cup for us. Because, I can remember my first Leicester game was the 69 FA Cup. So, we were playing some good stuff at the time. And I keep saying now, what would have happened if he'd been given that money for the rebuild? But let's not forget, and I said about Vichai, but also when we got promoted from the Championship, which was obviously under Vichai, we got done for PSR. We got a fine. I mean,
I think the thing is we couldn't have given Brendan the money, Chris, because we would have broke PSR because he'd spent a load of money on Vestergaard and Bertrand in their wages. I think also I lost trust in him on that because obviously Steve Walsh wasn't involved at that point. The people he brought in to replace like the Mahrez's, I'm not expecting them to be Riyad Mahrez, but I'm not expecting them to be as bad as Damari Gray was.
No. But when you look at...
That was earlier, I know, but
No, but just for example, for Damari Gray, one of my mates here was don't see him now, but was a Birmingham fan, and he rang me up and went, "You bastard!" I went, "What's happened?" He goes, "He's our favourite player. He's brilliant." And I remember 2 years later saying, "Do you want him back?" But again, we'll always be grateful for the goal he scored against Cardiff. It's all. Yeah. But that's the thing. It isn't just one thing. It's a lot of things on top of each other. Brendan was given too much control. He was given literally the keys to the castle, if you like. But then look how well we were doing under him.
It's true. I mean, exactly. But also look at the Brighton situation again here. They had a lot invested in, say, De Zerbi for one, right? But they knew who was coming after him, even when he was doing his best. Did Leicester ever plan for a life beyond Brendan Rodgers? Probably not.
Leicester have never planned for a life beyond any manager.
And that's why we're in the mess we're in, Chris. That's the glorious answer to all of our discussions on this.
Exactly. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head there. I mean, the other nail that needs to be hit on the head in a in a metaphorical way is John Rudkin and Top. We have to wait, and I think I have said this to you before, but we have to wait all the time for Top to come over from Thailand to make a decision. Top's got to be in Thailand a lot of his time because that's where the King Power organisation is based. That's where his money comes from, and his personal fortune comes from. He has got to be there. If King Power collapsed, we probably wouldn't be maybe far behind that because he would have to pull out. I know it's his personal fortune, but he gets paid and gets dividends and everything from King Power. But why? You know when I need a drink. I can't. I've put somebody else's teeth in this morning.
We've gone into a really deep conversation here. We're meant to be having a ratings rant about yesterday, but no, yeah.
We'll come on to that. Don't worry. We won't forget that.
Stick with us, chat. Stick with us. Get your thoughts in the chat about this. Where did Leicester go wrong?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, do add the chat. Tom's keeping an eye on the chat tonight, by the way. Thank you, Tom. I forgot what point I was making. What was I saying?
I've lost it as well, mate. I don't know where we are at all here. But I was going to say to you though, just bringing up the Top and John Rudkin thing. That
was it. Sorry, that was it. I want to say under Abramovich, how often did Abramovich sack a manager?
Oh, dude, I can't really remember, mate. Not very often.
I'll tell you, 0.
He sacked Mourinho.
Yeah. But he wasn't over here at the time, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. He got...
Under his tenure, they sacked 5 or 6 managers. He never personally sacked one, because he would be on the phone and he would be ringing up and remember they sacked the guy who just had won them the Champions League.
Di Matteo, yeah.
Yeah. He was on the phone to whoever his director of football was saying, sack him. I'm coming over in a few weeks. Now, Topper's probably going to say, look, I can't get over for a couple of weeks. I've got this business and that business. John, go and sack Marty. I'll be over in a couple of weeks. Have there a list of names ready that you recommend and then some wild cards that I can look at when I come over. Why are we waiting for every time for him to come over to do it? We wasted those 4 weeks. And I honestly think, I'm not saying if Gary had come in before we would have stayed up, but those 4 weeks that Andy King was in charge, probably, and it wasn't just this, but that probably cost us our championship status.
Yeah, it could have done, but we could have ended up like West Brom. Maybe Kingy would have magically pulled a rabbit out of his arse. There's 45 minutes against Southampton. It looked like that very well might be the case, because arguably that 45 minutes before the collapse was the best we played all season. But we couldn't get the West Brom luck like they've had with James Morrison going in there, right? No. And also it was the money, Chris. It was the money. That's the logical reason why. I think the interesting thing about it is, look, is that there is a trend here, and unfortunately it does fall on the director of football, because there is a reputation also carried through the media. A lot of media people say this. I'm not going to say anything slanderous. I'm just going to say a lot of people suggest that he is someone that a lot of directors of football might not want to work with, because of how his involvement has been. And there's been a track record of decline. And this is why I find it problematic, the fact that there has been a promotion involved here, because we've all got friends, mate. We've got best mates, right? Some of them you could go to business with. Some of them you can't. Some of them aren't trustworthy enough. Some of them will let you down, and ultimately it'll fall back on you as well, right? And I think that's where there's been an unprofessional level to this, because you can have someone who supported you and the family and been loved and adored for it, well done, but that doesn't mean that they automatically deserve a job at the head of the table when the results haven't been good enough.
Indeed. Again, quite right. What I would say is, and I don't know, we'll never know what, because it's, like I said, it's less open than the KGB.
No, but a lot of journalists talk about it, and they have a bit more inside knowledge than us, and they're publicly speaking about it now. And it's interesting to see journalists do that, because I've not seen that before.
But do we know? Because this is pretty much a transition period. This new football director, football chief, whatever he's called, this Macron that's come from the City Group, he's come in, and we're all hoping that he's going to be doing John Rudkin's job. Now, John Rudkin, apparently he's been moved over to the academy. I don't know. But, we don't know. Look, it's the hardest thing to do is to sack a friend.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah. But it's business.
It is business. But what I'm saying is, he could go out tomorrow and say, Doris, the tea lady, come here. Got a new title here for you, maitre d'. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, go on. Go back to your trolley now and push it round. Still doing a job, but it's just the title. Like I say, and you and me have been sort of in management, I've been within the same job, a team leader, a supervisor, and a manager. Same job. Exactly the same job for all three, but it's the way of keeping me on side,
Yeah.
And depending how the business was going, that was it. Didn't mean I did anything different, but it so we don't know, I know where you're coming from, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just think that we are, what's the word I'm looking for? I think we're in this transition period, and hopefully from the start of next season, when we see this new guy come in, and he'll go, right, top, this, that, the other. Intro, let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see.
Yeah, hopefully so, Chris. I just hope the transition isn't one to an even worse place than what we are, because that's what we've seen so far, and history probably predates your future if you don't learn from it.
Yeah. Steve is in. Hi, Steve. How you doing? If you want to pop on, by the way, mate, feel free. I didn't ask you because I didn't think you'd be free. I thought you'd be on something different, but you're welcome to pop on if you want to. Just put it in the chat. I hope when these players leave, they snap their ACLs on their first game for the new club. You are sounding just like me, because I said that with Fafana. As Brad calls in the French Voldemort, because there's ways to leave a club, and look at the Harry Maguire, the way he left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
ways
yeah.
that you can do it, and I think Fofana was the biggest shit bag going. And I said the same. I hope he breaks his leg. And he's pretty much had a very stop-start career at Chelsea, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. You're at the gym. You get in. If you're still on when I get back, yeah, no problem, mate. Getting rid of some of that frustration, are you?
I think it says everything about Harry Maguire. The fact Man United have offered him a new deal. He must be a good character behind the scenes to have.
Yes, yeah, and he's obviously, well, he is. His form's up and down depending who the manager is. I put this out earlier on social media. I went. I may have missed some players off, and I've not included loan players because that's unfair. But even considering, and I can only just about remember this, Fab McClintock's 77-78 relegation season, Peter Taylor's 2000-2001 relegation season, and Ian Holloway's 2007-8 relegation season, which were three awful seasons I have lived through. This bunch of overpaid, not fit to wear the shirt, in my opinion, are the worst team I have seen. It's like watching a Sunday pub team on a Sunday morning when they've all got hangovers.
Yeah, I just answer your question categorically. This is easily the worst Leicester team I've ever seen in my lifetime, Chris, including all the other ones been relegated. Easily the worst. Give me Barry Hales on the wing instead of blooming, Fatawu or Mavrididi at the moment, because at least the guy could put a shift in and be a bit of a steam train, right? If he couldn't kick a ball very well. It's easily the worst Leicester team of all time for me. This, and it's very sad to see. And we have seen some difficult ones. Just to answer your clip, I would do that. We'll probably do it on a preview show later. I'll go 3-5-2. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, I did it at the weekend. I went sticking with the formation that he goes with to a 4-2-3-1 because he isn't going to change that. Whatever, I don't think. I dropped both wingers. Definitely.
Yeah, categorically, I would. I'd go 3-4-1-2 even, like Blackburn and Middlesbrough play. Yeah.
Passion says, Chris, that's the exact opposite thing. This happened to me back. Loads of new tasks and responsibilities, the same title and salary, so I left. Yeah, I mean, it's everybody's choice, I mean, each time that I did that, I did get a little bit of extra money, but obviously I walked out and went, hey, I'm the manager now, yeah. But this, to me, even when we went down with Ian Holloway, and that went right down to the last game of the season, and we've been building up to that for 3 or 4 seasons because we had the Scottish invasion under Levine. We had the Derby and Jones club when we were taking any Premier League player that was out of contract. But, Ian Hume was part of that team that got relegated.
Yeah,
and he would have died on that pitch.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Always put a work rate in. I remember I was at that Sheffield Wednesday game before we went to Stoke and drew. I was at that home game, actually, where it was sold out and we lost 2-1 at home to Sheffield Wednesday, needing to go beat Stoke, who were in second in the league next week, and we drew 0-0 and got relegated. And we were 1-0 up in that game, and Ian Hume scored and was working hard every game, every minute of that game, Chris. And that's the difference, isn't it? They went down fighting. We knew we weren't good enough, but we went down fighting. This lot, we have questions they might be good enough because we can see what's going to happen next to a lot of these players, can't we? So they're going to go somewhere else and be good players, because this is generally what happens to us recently. Someone will go somewhere else and actually do a better job than what they've done here. Not for all of them, but they will happen.
But I think that can happen anyway, because let's say Monger's being linked with Arsenal and Man United now.
Yeah.
And if he goes, he'll go with all my best wishes. Both of those teams can improve him more than we can.
100% for where he is in his career. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you look at the setups they've got. We've got 2 masseurs, they've probably got 5. A stupid thing, but you know what I'm saying? Their tactics are better. We see whatever we say about their expensive players. And I'm going to say this now. Buying the best players does not guarantee that you're going to win anything.
No, exactly. Was Christian Fuchs the best left back in the world when we signed him on the free transfer, or did he have character?
Well, yes. But, I mean, I can remember before, Man United pre-Alex, when Liverpool were winning everything, they just went out and bought, if a player was available, they went out and bought them, didn't think about how they'd fit into the team or anything. And I think they won the odd FA Cup. That was it. So just going out and buying good players doesn't work. But you can sometimes go to clubs where, you know, I'm not saying a lot. Let's use Jordan Ayew as the example. We know how shit he is. We know how awful he is. But he could go, let's say, to a Portsmouth next year, and he might fit into their system. The manager might get on with him, and suddenly, you know, this whole dynamic changes. I want to see that as well, Clibo, and we aren't going to, because he isn't going to change. I'm certainly going down what your nephew Reece says, that maybe it's not Gary that's picking the team, but then
maybe if he brought his assistant managers with him, they were the ones training the secondary formations with the players. Maybe that's the problem. I've started to really think about it in that way.
Good point. Good point. But talking about training, I showed you this, didn't I, on Saturday, of the image of Leicester City on the training pitch.
Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, it looks very comfy, very cozy, all the things we've heard about Seagrave, but it does seem a little bit soulless, perhaps. I mean, maybe those aren't real alcoholic beverages. Maybe they're just what they call the fake ones, mocktails.
Who knows? Who knows?
We should be mocked City. That doesn't work, does it? That was a terrible joke. Move on quick. That was awful. Abandon ship. Abandon ship.
I know you wanted LTiDtv whiskey, but we've just hit an iceberg. But, you know...
I'll be drinking a lot more Tuesday night for the watch-along, guys, rather than being sober for tonight. So.
Oh, we will. Look, you've got that, you know, that to me has summed Leicester up, as in summed the players up for, well, all season, you could say. But if we're in reality, I think since the January transfer window shut.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's perceived like from us as fans, isn't it? Because we don't see it on the pitch. And then, I know we'll get to this. There's been things that happened off the pitch after the game, including Hamza Choudhury in the game, actually, where he was lashing out a little bit at officials and members of the crowd. And you go, well, why isn't that passion being translated onto the pitch? Because if it's frustration, it's something. Ultimately, frustration can be a fuel. It can be just as good as bloody diesel. We might need to run off diesel in a minute, the way the world's going, you know, and frustration to get ourselves going. I just don't understand why it's like not been conditioned into the players that if they've got that, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can channel it into on the pitch and maybe you can get something positive from that. It makes me also, once again, look at Seagrave in particular and the people perhaps involved with it and go, what sort of mentors have we got for these players? Because they don't seem to have the right sort of maturity level in them as a squad.
Yeah, totally. And where's the experienced players that we are relying on, supposedly, that's grabbing the game by the neck and going out there, for fuck's sake, right, let's get on with this. Ricardo as captain, right, I'd love to have a Roy Keane as a captain.
Oh, me too, yeah.
To his own players and go, get your fucking prima donna dress off, get your football boots on and show us what you can do. Not every captain is like that. What's the opposite? Well, I'll just say opposite. The opposite to that, there is a word, and I couldn't think what it was. Epiphany? Oh, I don't know. The opposite to that is your David Beckham sort of captain, who never went out and shouted at anybody, but he led by example.
Yeah, by working hard in training, you know, a bit like Ronaldo would, and just showing by how good of a skilled player he was. We've got that in Toronto Maple Leafs.
That one when we beat Greece with the last kick of the game, his free kick for the World Cup. He ran that match. He was all over the place. You know, he was showing everybody, look, this is what you should be doing. And again, we haven't got that sort of captain. You know, and it's decisions like that, you know, again, why hasn't, whether it was Marty, whether it was Kingy, whether it was Gary coming in and went, look, Ricardo, I'm going to take the captaincy off you.
Yeah. It's interesting, that, isn't it? I think it was given because he was literally the guy that had been here the longest. And then you'd argue even more weirder, why was Hams the vice captain? Because he certainly comes across, and Clibo's mentioned it in the chat about people not willing to high-five fans and, you know, inflated sort of things going on. And it's really bizarre. It's almost like a pass the baton to whoever's been the next in line here the longest, which isn't the way you pick these things. It's down to personality traits and character, isn't it? And also what a group you bring together is. But I think it shows you, Chris, just what a segregated group of players you ended up with in the football club, because we've taken our eye off the ball on the key elements of recruitment that Steve Walsh brought into this football club, which was you go for that mentality over just ability. You look for a player with a bit of character and a bit of something about them. And I think we've completely forgotten all that was good about us. And that's what frustrates me more, Chris, because it wasn't as if we were an unsuccessful football club for 10 years. We were incredibly successful a decade ago, and we had all the answers. And yeah, we stumbled onto a lot of them by bringing in good people like Nigel Pearson, Shaky, Dave Rennie on the medical side of things. And we just let it all go away. We let it fall through our fingers, just like water at a waterfall, didn't we? Rather than catching it in a bucket. I found it remarkable. I don't understand why you would ever do that as a business or a football club.
No. Look, people are saying that. People want... well, I want Gary out. I don't want him anywhere. If they even consider that they're going to keep him, and the rumours are we're not, I'm going to start putting a Red Forest shirt. Or I'm going to start...
Yeah, God, don't do that, Chris. God, I'll have you dragged off to the blooming madhouse. You start wearing a Forest shirt on this channel.
I'm still holding back on top, because a bit of me still says, be careful what you wish for.
And I get that.
And that's why I'm holding off on top. And everybody said, well, Top wouldn't do that to us. It's not who he necessarily sells to. It's the one after. Milan Mandrić didn't sell Portsmouth to a gun runner. But the guy that he sold it to did. You know what I mean? So that's the bit that's kind of holding me back. Maybe, and God, it's getting to me, Tom, because I dreamt about this last night. Maybe, not you, you're all right, don't panic. Maybe we need sort of somebody to come in like a Jim Radcliffe at Manchester United. Bear with me on this, because, you'll argue that it hasn't gone better, blah, blah, blah. But what you want is somebody to come in and say to Top, right, I'm going to invest this much money. You give me 40% of the club.
That's what you mean.
50%, you're quite happy to fund it. It's got your memories, etc. But I will run it for you in this country. Now, you can argue, I thought Jim Ratcliffe would have done better with his, is it Monaco or Marseille that he owned, or was Leon one of those anyway?
Oh, I don't know, yeah.
So, and, but I thought he would do better. But, he cut out, was it free tickets for the cleaning ladies and all that sort of thing. But look, that, I think, would be, for me, the ideal answer.
I think that's a very good answer, Chris, to suggest. And I think that is actually possible. I think that there is financial difficulties potentially on the horizon for the football club. The way you're going to bring in investment is by selling a stake in the football club, isn't it? Yeah. And there'll definitely be interested parties, because, the lucky thing we've got, which I think Sheffield Wednesday have struggled with, ironically, is we are a bigger name than Sheffield Wednesday now because of all this stuff we had in the last 10 years, because of the journey and all the rest of it in the Premier League and all the rest of it. That is attractive. In some ways, people will overspend for that because they can see the long-term value in that. With Sheffield Wednesday, they can't overspend on it because it's been way too long now. So that's why it's 50 million quid's causing a problem, right? But no, I think the sad thing about this is that I don't think there's any fan out there that wants to actually hate Top, because they do love the family going back, right? The problem is his decisions, and he's the guy at the top. When things are going well, it doesn't matter, because anything can happen and no one's going to bat an eyelid, right? He will be going to Eindhoven and getting applauded by the fans. Of course he will. When things are bad, people look for people taking accountability and go, well, who's sorting this mess out? The problem is he's proving he's terrible at it, which is why this has brought this whole discussion around. And unfortunately, the results on the pitch, I just don't know, because I think, unfortunately, the thing that gets me is we're not seeing the right things coming from him when he's done interviews and when he's made decisions recently to really get the fans back on side. And I mentioned this on the watch along, didn't I? I think sometimes, look, you might believe in John Rudkin, you might believe in this and go, we're going to do this and this will fix everything. You still got to kind of appease your fan base with what decision you make, because if you don't, you're potentially pushing a lot of customers who are paying a lot of money to the football club out of the door. It's a real difficult one for me. That's why it's divided the fan base, mate. No doubt about it. But I like your idea.
Yeah, that's why we don't own a football club or any other business for that matter. Strongbow, mate, is what it is, because it's all they were selling at my local when I went down, and as long as it's apple cider, I'm not bothered. Prashant agrees with me, and as Jay Wall says, for every Top there is a Chanzeri. And look, you have to. I think when he did that reshuffle and moved all the different people around, and I've got to say, people were moaning about the guy that's been moved up to the CEO position, that he was doing this and he was involved in that. Again, I can only quote off examples that I know. When I worked at um, a newspaper in Burnley before I moved down here, East Lancashire newspapers, the woman who was in accounts was the quietest one of the team that was sat in the corner. And they had this woman that came in, and the paper was on the brink, and she came in. She was there when I started as an MD. Absolutely brilliant woman. Said it as it was. You knew where you stood with her. She'd back you until
until you gave her a reason not to. Yeah,
exactly. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. And she went into that accounts department as one of the problems was that it wasn't working, and this person had to leave. And she appointed this person that was really, really quiet in the corner. And she was talking to people, and she was still there 3 or 4 years later when I joined.
Yeah, it was interesting, isn't it? Yeah, which is a good sign of it. I mean, I think you're right, because if you read the Premier League PSR report, when we got the points deduction, they released a massive thing on the Premier League website, about 80 odd pages of it. And what's interesting is the guy who got promoted to be the head of the finance department now, actually in that report reads up very well, because it reads up like he actually had a grip on it. And the problem was the things that he was putting across to the director of football weren't being actioned, and that's what caused the mess.
Yes.
Which is not me being slanderous. That was in a proper Premier League report when under interviews and all the rest of it. It's out there in the public domain. But I think that once again shows you the problem. And then once again, Chris, just to tie that up neatly, I mean, it does show you that not every decision the club has made is bad. But the problem is, of course, when things are going really bad, it's really going to highlight the ones that are, even if there's only 5 of them that are bad, it's going to really highlight them, isn't it?
Well, the old saying goes, and not only the old saying, but the old Osmond song, "One Bad Apple."
Yeah.
Don't ask how I know that. I'm a radio DJ as well, so I do know the odd bad song. With the Osmonds, just in case there's any Osmonds fans watching. Before we go on, we're going to move on now. 14 minutes into the show, we are actually going to talk about the team. Had Top got rid of Rudkin when he did this move, do you think the fans would have been more accepting of him still and given him longer?
I think possibly. I think that's very, very likely. Yeah, I think so. I think unfortunately it is more on the director of football than it is on Top. Ironically, I think ultimately the problem is, Chris, is that the hard thing about that is like, because it's taken so long, it has now latched onto him like some sort of leech. And it means that it's also equally on him now. If he'd done it sooner, I think he'd probably be in the clear completely around what's happening. But he hasn't been, and he's got his own personal reasons for that. But once again, I don't think your personal relationships, if they're proving to be unhealthy when applied to a professional environment, I don't think you should be doing that.
No, you are quite right. Right then, let us, shall we, go on and discuss the players from the other week.
Are we going to talk about Winksy first? We're going to talk about this.
No, we're going to say Winksy till we get to Winksy.
Okay, because I know everyone in the chat's going to want to talk about this as well. So we've got to get that in today, and Hamza will have his bit as well. Yeah.
No. As we go through the players, we will talk about them. And I just wonder. I mean, do you think this is Top a little bit?
You don't know the answer to that question, and I think you are an ostrich.
Yeah.
Do you think he's sticking his head in the sand?
I think there's a lot of that in the football club, isn't there? And I think we've seen it this weekend. I think right now things are that heavy and things aren't going, anywhere near where we'd like them to go. I think people are having to turn their heads away from it just to try and survive at the moment. But you've got to face these things because they don't just disappear, do they, Chris? Unfortunately, we all know that from our own lives. You've got to run into it.
You gotta face
take it on.
Right? Here we go then. Now this is Portsmouth 1, Leicester City 0. The ratings, guys. Please get your own points in for these players. What we'll do is we will talk about it. Tom will give his, I will give mine. We'll see what Jordan in the Leicestershire Live gave, and then Tom will read out yours before we move on to the next player. Keep it clean, but be as bad as you want to be. You know,
Yeah, I've done mine as pros and cons today, so this is going to be interesting.
Are you still knocking points off for them losing, though?
Oh, yeah. They've all lost another point from last week. Because like I said, until they get a win, they're going to lose 1 point off every time. So like every point today has had one knocked off each of them.
But is that one from what? So it's basically 2 if you include in last week, is it?
Well, yeah. But I'm not obviously using last week's performance. So if their performance was better than last week, then technically it's a different score. But they still get 1 knocked off automatically, guys, because we didn't get anything. So it's going to be low scoring. We know this, unfortunately.
It's going to be low scoring. Interestingly, I don't do that. I just give the thing on the performance. Having said that, we didn't do a lot of disagreeing last time, did we? So
no.
Right, let's have a look at this gentleman. Bekovic called back in, which I was surprised about because I think this should they stayed with Salarchik, he knows the back four, or and if he hasn't, sticking with him because and changed him. Why wasn't he being changed a couple of weeks ago?
I think that was the ankle injury, and they were worried about it. They got a thing about heels and ankles at this football club. They're terrified of playing.
I know when he was in before, he was dropped.
Oh, but was he? No, he was injured. He went out injured.
Yeah, he was injured. Yeah, but so Salarchik came back, but he hasn't actually. He's been on the bench, so he's been fit for a few weeks. So why wasn't he picked before this then?
No, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think that was just because he wasn't fully fit. I mean, we put Jordan James on the bench for the last 2 games, but the way he's played, he's obviously not fully fit. And thank you very much, Wales, for that. He didn't even make it to the World Cup. Right, should we go on to Begovic here? So, pros, great instinctive save near. I've done pros and cons, guys. Great instinctive save near post from Chaplin. Made Ali shit his pants and fall over when he ran through past the Sales and Vestergaard because he literally fell over on his own, the Portsmouth winger. Cons, big con. I think he was at fault for the goal looking back, actually. I went back and looked at the goal a few times, and I'm a goalkeeper, as you know. It was my position. Where the ball ended up, I think he could have come out and punched it or got something on it. I think actually it was in between the land and no return between the defenders. He wasn't only guy at fault, but I think he should have come off his line and come and dealt with it because it was dipping and he was in that part of the area anyway. So that was a big mistake to make. But outside of that, he didn't do anything wrong. So because, unfortunately, he was, I think, part of the reason we conceded the goal, I'm going to start off with quite an average score for me. 1. Like I said, I'm knocking points off, guys, for us not winning. 1.
I didn't see that. But I haven't.
People might disagree. Sorry to interrupt. People might disagree, but let me know in the chat. Do you think he was at fault for the goal?
Yeah,
a little bit.
By all means, disagree, guys. That's what we talk about opinions. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm going to say, nice to see a goalkeeper that was kicking. I don't think I once saw him pass it around to his defender. Every single time he was kicking it forward. I have to say, every time he kicked it forward, it went straight to one of their players, in as fact as their defender jumped higher than our strikers or forward players. But at least when we lost the ball, we lost it in their half. So it would give us a chance to get back. I'm going to go with Craig and Clibber there. I'm going to go 4. Because apart from the goal, and was it just him or was there others involved? If there was others involved, not totally his fault. I'm going 4. Jordan has also gone 4. He saved low to deny Chaplin early in the first half, but looked a little slow in backpedaling when the decisive corner floated over his head. A couple of kicks went astray too, and he gets 4.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Okay, look, I'm being quite harsh today. I think, do you know what's funny? I wrote these after the game, so I did it literally in the moment straight afterwards. So mine are probably going to be a bit harsh.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I haven't rewatched it back or anything, so
no, fair enough. I had to. I'll just take us through their scores. Everyone's scores. Craig's gone 4, like you say. Clibo's gone 4. Prashant's gone 5. Paul said as well, Jacob wouldn't have done any better for that goal. Totally agree with that, mate. Well said. Mad Jason 5. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, so I've been the harshest so far, and we'll see how it goes later on. Okay.
Righty-ho, then. I've got to say, actually, because I was going to actually put these up, but to be quite honest with you, I hadn't got time and I couldn't be asked. So I have to say he made 1 save all game.
The near post one.
Yeah, he made 31 passes. And only 38.7% of those were accurate. But I think that would include most of his boots upfield and what have you. on that. Right, Mr. Ricardo.
Yep. Just put the slide back across, mate. You went back to Begovic. Oh, is he frozen? I was going to say, no, but you've done it. Oh, yeah, goodness me, it didn't turn up on mine. Sorry, guys. I'm well spun out today. I obviously haven't recovered from yesterday.
I'll have a pint whatever you're on, please.
Oh, mate, I think I need one. I think that's the problem. I'm sat here drinking Coca-Cola. It's all the sugar. Pros, I've got a big blank area with nothing in it, so that's not a good start to this one, is it? Cons, his tackling just wasn't there all game, unfortunately. Looked a bit like he was good at running alongside a player and pushing him a little bit, but he was very lightweight and never got a footing on anyone. Got caught out of position a lot again. Didn't really work hard enough to get back either, leaving a teammate like Hamza to try and do it. But then Hamza simultaneously didn't run back any quicker than he did. Just drifted into central midfield positions and snarled up the defence in midfield with too many players, which basically allowed space for Portsmouth to get around us as well. So a heavy performance from Ricardo. Obviously, you consider leadership as well. I've gone for 0.
Ooh. Okay.
It was a must-win game. Sorry, must-win game.
Yeah, it was. Footy and Food, by the way, on X has just sent me a message saying, back the lads. I think it was yourself. I think it was Reese that said, no, when they give us something to back, we will back them. Yeah. But until they do, just no. Right, we are going to disagree on this one because actually, and I do have the benefit of sort of seeing the stats here, so that does help me. But out of all the defenders, he was actually probably the best of the 4.
Oh, you haven't seen my marks of the other defenders yet?
That is very true. That is very true. I have to take points off him for his leadership skills because that's part of it. Where was he G'ing them up? Where was he saying, guys, we're going over the top here. Put your tin hats on. Let's get into them. No, he's fucking past it. He's absolutely past it. In fact, I tell you what, he couldn't pass piss if he needed to go to the toilet. He's absolutely rubbish this season. Why he's being picked, I don't know. We've said it all season. If Aluko had been started middle of the season, he'd have been up to speed by now. Ricardo couldn't get up to speed if he was on a motorised mobility scooter. That said, he made 7 tackles.
Oh, wonderful.
Which is more than the other 3 put together. And he won nearly 71.5% of those. So, and he only committed 1 foul. So, I've got to say, based on that, although his passing accuracy he made 41 passes. His passing accuracy was, I'm going to give him a 4 again. I'm sorry. I'm going to give him a 4.
I'm going to look like the most evil person in the world today with my ratings. I just to say, guys, I don't hate the players any more than anyone else. I'm just literally, it was a must-win game we had to win. So I've gone pretty, in here. Let me do everyone else. Oh, sorry.
You know what? It's about opinions. It is about opinions. I would probably say start Aluko at right back, drop Fatawu and put Pereira on that right wing. Because a couple of times he made some good runs down the side, but again, it all came to nothing because all our strikes always do. So I would be interested in doing that.
He'd be much better getting past Ricardo getting past Fatawu down the flank like he did for a little bit in another game, drifting into central midfield where he got 2 defensive midfielders in either Winks and Skip and Winks and Choudhury. And you just think they're just bunging up space. You don't need that many players there. The team's just going to play around you, aren't they?
He gave the ball away cheaply in the first half, but often because he lacked options. There was lots of fight there in the second period, though. The captain making countless tackles and carrying the ball forward whenever he could. He gets a 5 off Jordan, so he's pretty much in there with myself.
It shows you I must have seen the tackles he did because all I can remember seeing him do was like stick a foot out and someone's run past him. So, yeah, I've obviously missed that. That could be on me.
Well, I mean, we all see different things in games, How often and don't worry about it, mate. Like I said, this is about.
Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm just interested how people see. It makes me wonder if I fall into a different matrix. I've been accused on that on the channel before. It's like someone said in the chat once, it's like, I sometimes wonder if Tom's watching the same game as we are. And I'm like,
Well, that's the thing, though. But you do watch this game, and it annoys me when people have a dig at people saying, "Oh, what game were you watching?" and all this. Like the same as you, but I just have a different opinion, and I see things differently. Anyway, sorry, I've stopped defending you. Right, here we go. That was Ricardo.
Yeah, shall I take you through everyone else? So Clibo's gone for a 2 there. Craig's gone for a 2. Paul's gone for 2, but allowances for his age. It's a sad end to his Leicester career, isn't it, guys? This, because he had such a great time for us. -1 there from JWA LTiDtv. Okay. And we got Ricardo, 3 from Prashant, one of the poor performance, and I think he was primarily responsible. Yeah, see, he was in that little mosh pit of players by the back post as well, wasn't he? Mad Jason, 4. Full midfield and attack with fault for a loss. The defence was not good, but okay, better than the rest. So, yeah, a mix there. We got a -1, 2s, and 3s and 4s there. Yeah, so mix on it, isn't it?
Yeah, there certainly is. Right, Lascelles.
Right, pros. Made one good interception during a counter-attacking chance. His positioning was good for that one. Cons. Had a few periods of the game where he didn't take enough accountability when he could have. Ali stretched past him to get in behind him and Vestergaard at one point. Stood still when Chaplin had his near-post chance in absolute no man's land. Should have closed him down and been aware of what was going on. His awareness just switched off on occasions, and he didn't look fully engaged with the game at times, and also didn't bring what would probably be his strength, which is a bit of voice and a bit of leadership. So he's got a 1.
He's got a 1. I'm disappointed with him. Generally, to be honest with you, he's not the leader coming in that I thought he was. And obviously he's getting games now because who else have we got? Let's be honest.
Well, they're all injured, yeah.
I'm actually he made no tackles. Now, it's like, we criticise Daka and we criticise Ayew, quite rightly, for not scoring goals.
Yeah.
How can you be a defender and not make a tackle? And we know there are tackles there to be made, because in fairness, Ricardo made 7. He committed 3 fouls. He only won 1. And he made 20. The only good thing about him was 27 passes and it was 92.5% accuracy. But I'm going to give him a 2 because of his stats of where the fuck was he tackling and what have you. So he gets a 2 from me. Somehow he gets a 5 off Jordan.
Oh, wow. What did Jordan say about it then?
No, this is like, Jordan, can I have a pint of what you're on, please? Jordan says, what does he say? He made 2 very good blocks in the first half. Reed didn't play well to bail out teammates' mistakes. On the ball, he didn't offer much, though. As the game became stretched, he looked less assured.
I get the last bit. I think the problem for Jordan is that he's got to be a little bit more PC like the guys in the Leicester City official studio, like Matt Elliott and that have to do, because they need access to the football club.
Yes.
You've got to be a bit more sort of diplomatic, I guess, haven't you?
I guess so. So. But, you get to a point where you're thinking, well, he's telling a load of, he's not being honest. He's licking up sort of thing. But I've got to say,
I don't believe it.
I don't.
No.
Right, up next.
Well, hang on, you're rushing ahead here, Chris. Let me. We'll get the chat. Sorry, we're a bit unorganised here, guys. Craig has gone for 2, Clibo 2, Paul 1. Not the leader we were hoping for. 100%, mate. Lascelles 4, didn't do enough and was a blind spot. Portsmouth found out we could have been 2-0 down the first 5 minutes. Yeah, I agree with that. And Mad Jason again there with a 4. Thank you very much, guys. Interesting little scope there, but I agree with you about, just not to get back onto him too much here, but the thing is that he could use his positioning to get around some of these problems, right? Like Vestergaard has done on occasion, but he's switched off too often for me again, like all of them did in this game, Chris. Sorry, carry on.
No problem. He's there till the end of the season. I don't think we should give him another contract.
On the money he's on, we won't be able to afford it.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Talk to me about the man with the dog.
Oh, here we go. Pros. Nice haircut. Oh, I said that last week. I can't use that twice. Well, it still looks pretty relevant, doesn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
cons. Strolling around all the time. Once he'd done a tackle, he sort of switched off for a second every time. He just stopped doing anything. Pretty bad body language again. Poor clearance leading to Addy's chance where he just kicked it up in the air towards the flank, didn't put it out of play. Sloppy and lazy with that kick. Fell over when a cross came into the box, forgot how to use his feet. Was back to misjudging headers 75% of the time again, which is Vestergaard at his worst, unfortunately. And weak physically 75% of the time as well. So he's got a 0.
Oof. All right. I know he watches here, so I'm sorry, Yannick.
Yes, Yannick. I just, ultimately, look,
Look, it's on his performance. It's on his
I'm
performance.
sure he's a nice bloke, but you go for a pint with, but it wasn't good.
I take his dog for a walk. He made one tackle.
Yeah.
But he did win that one, so it's 100% tackles won. Committed 2 fouls, won 1, 32 passes, 72% accuracy. He had 1 shot, which was off target. If I gave Lascelles 2, I'm going to go 2 as well for Vestergaard. I was going to match them up. He got a 3, though, off Jordan.
Yeah, been a divisive one, this one, because some people have said better things than others, actually, I noticed online.
Another very rocky game from the Dane, who in several moments got his feet twisted. It led to a handful of mistakes, plus lots of untidiness on the ball. He did win a lot of headers. So I think that's why he probably got a 2 rather than a 1 from me.
Yeah, he got 25% of them from my memory. Yeah, right, let's go for everyone else. Craig, 2, went missing. Mad Jason, 4. Paul's gone for 2, walked around a lot. Clibbo, 2, still not fit. That could be a fair point there, Clibbo. We don't know about fitness because everyone's injured, and Harry Suter probably needs crutches to play, doesn't he? So, Prashant, Vestergaard, 5. I thought he was decent given his lack of prior game time, but I think he could do better. Of everyone was expecting him to score our goal. Yeah, it's a shame he didn't take that chance, but he is a centre-back as well, isn't he? So you don't expect him to have the right foot.
Oh, you say that, but, what did I say about Skip when he's missed 3 and 3?
Yeah, this is true. This is very true. But it's interesting how people view it differently as well, isn't it? Because like I say, it's interesting what people take for it. Some people I've seen have slammed him online, but I don't think. I know a 0 is harsh. It's probably the worst you can get. We might get into minuses by Hull next week, but
we might. Is that it? Are we?
Yeah, we're up to date. We're up to date, mate.
I'm just wondering when I think we've got another year, haven't we, with him?
Yeah, I believe so. So 2027. Yeah, he's not gone this summer. No. Well, saying that on the money, unfortunately, he's on. It's going to have to be probably a departure because it's going to be too much.
I don't particularly want him to stay. I'm just having a look. Yeah, 30th of June 2027. So he's got another. His market value is 1.8 million. So yeah,
the problem we got is if he ends up sticking around, we're going to have to start playing a deep block, aren't we? Because all our defenders are going to be older and a bit slower. But we haven't got a manager or a board that wants to appoint that manager. They want to play 4-2-3-1.
Exactly. Okay. Lukey boy.
All right, so Luke Thomas, pros, had better energy than most I've got here. Cons, I didn't quite see enough of him for me in this game. I'd like to see more, because I think the game before he was getting forward into positions and wasn't being picked out by teammates as much as he should have. Like I've always said about him, he's much better forward-facing, as I call it, than looking backwards, aka attacking rather than defending, ironically. That's too much for me. Can't use him properly. What else do I got here? Times where he just vanished a bit, and we could have done with him really carrying the ball forward more rather than just laying it off into central midfield. I felt this is a bit of a problem throughout all the team, really. I think there was no one running forward with the ball, Chris. They wouldn't take a man on. They wouldn't if there's a bit of space drive into it. Luke Thomas is someone I want to see do more of that. But apart from that, he wasn't horrendous, so a 2.
We've been saying recently that he's probably some games he's been the only one showing any commitment. I'm now, here we go. Talk about a change round. I'm actually going lower than you.
Oh wow, interesting. Okay. Oh, I'm surprised. I thought I was going to be the bottom one of everyone today.
No, I'm going to go 1 for him.
Okay.
He played 90 minutes. Again, he made 1 tackle.
Yeah.
Now, all right, you could say there weren't peppering the goal or anything, but they were going forward. He should have been able to get tackles in. No tackle, one tackle, and he didn't even win that. He committed 2 fouls, he won 2 fouls, 31 passes with a passing accuracy of just over 61%. So the worst of any of the defenders. I don't think it was his best game by a long chalk, as you can see, and I have given him a 1.
Oh, well, there we go. Wow.
Now, he actually gets a 4 off Jordan.
Okay. What did Jordan say?
Well,
I don't believe it.
There was some confusion with Vestergaard in a moment that led Cedric in, and he looked uncomfortable in moments without ever giving too much away. On the ball, he, like Ricardo, lacked support, and he got a 4.
Yeah, interesting that, isn't it? I think, though, when you're playing 2 defensive mids, basically, with blooming Winks, and I know Winks is technically not one, like, I don't mind these guys not being the main tacklers. You've got those midfielders who should be slotting back. I think he needs to be doing more going forward.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to everyone else, guys. Mad Jason, 4. Craig, 3. Prashant, 5. I think he did well defensively and had fight, but not enough moving the ball forward. That's fair enough, mate. 4 from Paul there, best of a bad lot. I think that's probably, I'm not going to give away scores, might be one of my highest scores, mate. Clibbo, 3, not helped by the lazy arse winger. I kind of want him to overlap Chris and just get ahead of him and just leave him to having to defend, to be honest, because he doesn't want to commit Mavididi, does he, to get ahead of him. And like Clibbo said as well, show grit to win the ball back after a slip. Yeah, I think energy-wise, he was one of the best ones for energy and body language, because there was a lot of players you could challenge on body language, couldn't you?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Interesting how we have just sweating my balls off here today. I'm going to put another fan on. Sorry if it's a bit noisy, that, guys. I don't know if
No, I can't hear it. Can't hear it.
So I'll leave it there. Yeah, to me, I just going off his stat. I just wasn't. I'm a big defender of him. No pun intended. But no, on this one, he just didn't do it for me. I'm sorry on that one. And I can't believe that I've actually got Ricardo as my best defender on that one. Oh dear!
It's all stats. It's all stats, mate. It's interesting how you're looking at all the stats, though, because I think the stats can be misleading sometimes, as you know. So I don't really look at them.
Well, no, you can read a lot into stats, but like I said, you expect your goalkeepers to make saves. You expect your strikers to score goals. And I expect my defenders to tackle.
Yeah, fair enough, isn't it? Oh, this is going to be a fun one next, isn't it?
You go for it, mate. You go for it.
Right, Mr. Hamza Choudhury. Right, I got one pro, actually, but I had to look through the extended highlights and look for it, and that was he made a good header pass into Fatawu once, who managed to run past the defender. That's the one where the guy took it off his foot when he was just outside the 6-yard box. The assist was a header from Choudhury over line. Okay, now we're on to the cons. That's the only pro out of the way. 50% commitment to me in everything he did. I think he was 50-50, very flaky with a lot of stuff. Came back a few times to help the defence and then actually just stopped just before helping them and causing them more problems because they thought he was getting it and then they just stood there like lemons. Didn't use his strength in the tackle. Look, we don't need to get sent off, but the one thing he's blooming good at is actually tackling someone hard and crunching them, and he stopped doing it now. Awful petulance when subbed off. Just like, like I said, Paul, that's our vice captain, right? And look, you can feel frustration, right, and all the rest of it, but you've got to channel it into a performance on the pitch. And also you've got to really, unfortunately, sometimes in life, eat shit and like the taste of it if it's not going well and just get your head down, right? It seemed to lose his head a bit towards the end as well. Didn't seem tactically astute at all for me as well. And just the most awful miss I've probably seen when he had that chance just inside the 6-yard box and put his laces for it when literally just need to put it into the centre of the goal and it would have been a goal for us, and just kicked it into the side netting. I mean, I know he's not meant to be scoring goals potentially, but you've got to hit that right, mate, rather than lose your head. So he's got a 0. So I've wrote essays tonight on my cons, haven't I?
Oh, no. Well, I know, because it was a fucking awful performance. Oh my God. Hamza Choudhury. Where do I start? When I saw his name on the tee sheet, there was a little bit of me that said he's in midfield, which is where I want him to be, not at right back. Then a little bit of me thinking, why the fuck is he with Winks?
Oh, Winks was the problem for me there, but yeah, carry on.
Then his petulance when he was subbed. If you had the balls to show that much fight on the pitch, who knows?
Yeah.
But you are vice captain, and as vice captain, I expect standards.
Yeah, agreed.
Hamza Choudhury, on Saturday, you set yourself a very low standard, and I'm going to say you failed to come up to it. You've got another 12 months with this club. I'm hoping, and I always said that I liked you as one of the squad players. Fuck off now. Fuck off. You do nothing but cause trouble. You like to be Bangladeshi and play for their national team. Go and play your fucking football week in and week out over there. It all goes back to even when bloody COVID. Do you remember when he did that illegal party? When no parties. He thought he was better than that then. Who the fuck are you? I'll add that to the list that Elmad about. Let's sell him and hope he breaks his leg. I don't like this guy. I am going to go, because of his attitude when he came off, I'm going -1.
Yeah, I thought you might go minus for this. Yeah, no, fair play to you, Chris. And a lot of the things you said, I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of people who've met him individually have said, oh, he seems a nice chap. The problem is you come across as an idiot, mate. I mean, you got to help yourself. You come across as an idiot.
I'm sure if you went out and met, I don't know, Jack the Ripper in his day, he probably came across as a very nice guy. You know what I mean? But
I bet Sweeney Todd was very good at making pies. Yeah, but you know, it's sort of.
Indeed. That's probably the best analogy you've ever done. Hamza Choudhury, who was not in the game at all in the first period until a late intervention in the box. In the second half, he thrashed a big chance into the side netting. The passion fans want to see was only shown when he argued with a Portsmouth supporter as he was subbed off. And isn't he a big man? He's arguing with a supporter knowing that nothing's going to happen because you've got your what do they call them? Stewards.
Yeah. I wouldn't have started. If I was a steward, I'd have let them go at it. I'd have laughed at it.
Yeah. Why protect him? Right, I'm going to go and get another beer because I've downed this one.
No worries, mate.
And also check this is a bit hot. So you go through that and then just talk generally. Don't start on the next gentleman because I want to be here with that one.
Not a problem, mate. Get a couple of beers. I think it might take a while tonight, mightn't it? Anyway,
it might do.
Right, guys. So let's see some scores here. Craig 1. Yeah, I think we're all in the same ballpark with this one, aren't we? Fair enough, mate. Mad Jason's gone for a 2. Yeah, fair enough. Prashant 5. I found him more dynamic and looked to send the ball forward, but lacked energy. Fair enough, mate. I always love your positivity, Prashant. I tell you what, honestly, mate, I need more of it in my life, mate. Paul, Hamza 1, needs to grow up. I'd agree with that. Even if he is, it's just the way you come across, isn't it? You've got to come across in the right way. Clibo 2, and top that off with a lack composure. Yeah, and that's kind of it, isn't it? You know, and you just think the problem is, of course, when things are really tough as well. And like I know, like player wages and all the rest of it, ultimately, when things are going well, it doesn't necessarily matter so much, does it? But when you think, and when things are really tough and the club's got financial problems, you look at where the money's being spent. I mean, it does put more pressure on a player to make sure you hold your end of the deal up, doesn't it? And I think when it comes to that in this football club, unfortunately, Mr. Hamza is at the top end in the top 5 players, I would say, are definitely not earning that paycheck. And I don't know how in the hell we ended up in this position because it seems very, very daft for us. So such a shame. I mean, because once again, the thing that I do find interesting about the arguing with people as he's coming off the pitch as well is like, if that's in you, channel it into on pitch. Channel it into your teammates around you. Don't just stand there. And if the referee's not giving decisions, I think a lot of it I noticed throughout the last few games is if they don't get the decision they want from the referee, which you might have got in the Premier League, for example, the players just get huffy. Just get all huffy with the referee and all this and all that, and then the captain gets all huffy. We've seen Ricky do it, and I saw a game. I was watching a bit of Ipswich versus Middlesbrough today, and there was a dodgy decision in that or two along the way. When that happened, you didn't see the players do that. They just kind of went, "Well, that's the league," and we just get up and we go again. And we might get the next one, and that's what you've got to kind of do. And I think we haven't adjusted to that. We seem to want to be victims and make ourselves victims in every situation. It's a really poor mentality, and you come to people like Hamza who've got to change that for me. So yeah, I would go with that, guys. But anyway, thanks for being here tonight. It's going to be a long one, I think, isn't it? We'll try and keep it a bit shorter for you. We're going to get to Harry Winks next, but make sure, guys, you've hit the like and subscribe button as well. And Chris has timed that really well coming back. Did you bring two, mate? Because you might need them.
No, because I haven't got one, only got one in the fridge.
Oh yeah, Sunday you can't pop downstairs either.
Oh, I've got plenty, but just not in the fridge. It might have to be gin and tonics next.
We'll get there, mate. Cheers to you, mate. I'd say Tuesday night's going to be a big one. I'm going to stock up because Tuesday night we'll have. Have you got the relegation graphics ready? Out of interest,
may have.
I thought you would have. Yeah.
Just to say to everybody, by the way, if you were going to be looking, because we normally do this on Monday afternoon, and then on the Monday night we have a review show. There will be no review show tomorrow because I am going off to watch Susie Quattro.
Hey, why not? Why don't you try and get a phone number as well, mate? Did you interview? You interviewed her, didn't you?
Yeah, it went out live this morning. If you're wondering where you can listen to that again, funny you should ask.
The Weekend Breakfast Show, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday with DJ Foz on Dorset's Riviera Radio.
More plugs than B&Q, I'll tell you.
You owe me for that plug. I walked right into that one, didn't I?
You did. Yes, no, she is. She's going to be with us. Well, she was with me this morning, to be honest with you. Well, she wasn't. It was a pre-record, but you know what I mean. The magic of radio. So she's at Bournemouth tomorrow, and I've got a really bad itch. And then she was very, very nice. My first crush. Right. Let's. Oh, this is going to be fun.
I love your choice of picture, Chris.
I put this up on social media earlier, and I had to credit Monty Python whilst apologising to them at the same time. Because, of course, we all remember the saying, I'm not the Messiah. Will you please listen? I'm not the Messiah. Do you understand? Honestly. Only the true Messiah would denies his divinity. What? Well, what sort of chance does that give me? All right, I am the Messiah. He is the Messiah. Now fuck off. How shall we fuck off, oh Lord? I mean, so with credit to Monty Python, but also apologies to Monty Python as well. That to me, oh God. Look, yes, it was a bad performance all round. You don't react. You're paid not to react.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the bus by that point. He could have just literally just run away and screamed to the back of the bus with a tinted with his no one and none the wiser. Yeah,
he got the bouncer pushing him onto the bus, hadn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's had a moment. I mean, once again, I tie this similar to Hamza, and I just go, look, if that's in you and that is something, and you are getting frustrated by it, channel it into the pitch performance. You're a player with a lot of experience now. You're not 21 anymore. You know, you've got players around you. You can literally take that and use that to build a better team around you. Now I look at him and go, why don't you use that energy to run past a player now and again on the football pitch and try and drive the ball forward rather than just making a sideways pass every time? Yeah, so it's really frustrating seeing this come out, especially when you go, man, if they got that in them, do it on the pitch.
Yeah. Well, with both of them, Choudhury and this guy.
Yeah.
Interestingly, do you remember a certain player called Ian Marshall?
Oh yeah, I loved Ian Marshall. Oh, Chris, Steve said, send him an email.
I mean, he was probably the scruffiest person going. But, you know, look, he was a good player. Probably better known at Everton. Why isn't this working?
He loves the football club. You still see what Marshy puts up nowadays, and you go, he still loves us, we loved him, because he was a proper honest footballer, as honest as you could get, and played with honesty in the style of football he played, and a lot of strength, which we always like as well. But yeah.
Well, funnily enough, as we all think a lot of him, he liked that post when I put it up earlier.
Oh, did he? Oh, bless him. We used to try and get him on the channel, Chris. You had him on before, haven't you?
I tried to get him on. I used to have him on. He was part of the prediction league when we did all the ex-players. He doesn't like doing them. He used to go on another Leicester channel. He did about 4 and then he stopped.
Oh, fair enough. It's not for everyone. I get that.
It's not for everyone. It's the same. I tell you what, it's the same with Julian Joachim as well. He doesn't like doing them. So you got to respect the wishes. But love the guy. And he actually like that. He doesn't care, does he? He's not going to be asked back.
Well, he created the word Teflon Rudkin, didn't he? Or Teflon John. So yeah.
Yeah. But I love the fact that he liked that. I loved it. So yes, whilst we are waiting for the judge and jury to come in, he is like Judge Dredd when he be coming in, Steve.
This might be a long show tonight, guys. We'll probably be going another 40 minutes, which is not a problem for me, but just be warned. Get yourselves another drink and it'll be a fun one.
Right. Talk to me about this cunt.
I've got nothing under pros, which is a good start. It'll be quicker then, won't it? I think it really holds the team style back playing him, unfortunately. I'm not saying he's an awful player. I'm just saying just playing him makes the team lack energy in the midfield in particular. He never runs with the ball, won't take on a man. It's always sideways pass, like I said before. Seems to choose the easiest option for him quite a lot of the time as well. Not a team player for me as well. Never breaks a sweat. Didn't break a sweat in this one. And also awful body language again, so he's got a 0. Hi, Steve.
Hello, sorry, you've got me walking back from the gym, so I won't make you stay up too late tonight.
No, well, keep your answers short. I know you weren't probably, you couldn't be bothered to do a post-match, and I don't blame you at all. We're going through them. We won't ask you to go back to the start because we could be here a while, but give me your vote for your points for Mr. Winks, I don't know, did you see the... let me just put this back up again for you. I don't know if you saw that or what you can see on your camera, there we go. So, Mr. Winks, what are you giving Mr. Winks?
There's not enough minus numbers in the world for Mr. Winks. Honestly, he sort of prances around the fucking football. Sorry, excuse my language. I'm going to swear a little bit here, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, we've been saying worse, mate. We've been saying worse. Don't worry.
It is the perfect player for me to jump on and talk about, to be honest. Because if you wanted somebody to epitomise Leicester City in 2026, it's this bellend. You fall out with several managers and you think, it's fine, I'll get a move. Nobody wants us. You come back into the squad under Andy King, and then you put in these performances, which, let's be honest, have been 2 out of 10s at best. The barrel is so far gone at this point because we've been digging so far that I've not been able to see it for a couple of hours. He's a disgrace and 0, to be honest. If I can give him any negative ones, I would do. He's a genuine disgrace.
Go for negatives. I gave him -1 to Choudhury.
Oh, okay, -1.6 million. There you go. I would give him a dog shit emoji, but I'm not allowed.
I will put you as -10 because that's the kind of maximum we go up to.
I'm glad you're here, mate. I think I've been harsh all night, but having Steve here, I'm like, oh no, do you know what? I can go further. This is great.
He's not gone minus yet, as not Brad, as not Tom. He went 0 for Choudhury, and I went -1. And funny that you've gone that for Mr. Winks, because I have also gone -10, being the maximum I can go. The guy has got another year extension. There's links with him with Wrexham.
Yep.
So Steve gone under a tunnel or something there.
I think Leicester can't afford street lighting anymore.
Sorry, it's just... I'm in Lincoln, to be fair, so yeah.
Oh, you chased the other LCFC. Good idea, mate. They'll be up in the championship next year.
I've gone -10 as well. Yeah, I've gone -10 as well.
Okay.
So Jordan he lost possession inside the first 30 seconds and let attacking midfielders get behind him regularly. He was okay on the ball, especially compared to the standards of others, but he was still very well short of his best. I don't think he was anywhere near his best, not just short, he was miles away from it. No running back, nothing. As I would say, let me just say, I've actually got a very nice little video for that gentleman there. We're ready for this video for Mr. Winks?
Goodbye and God riddance.
Now fuck off.
I hope he does. Maybe even with a broken leg, Steve.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't send you a video yesterday because my voice had gone because I was booing so much, and I aimed it all at Harry Winks. To be honest, the guy is. I hope he does fuck off. He's a disgrace. It genuinely is. Imagine being a former England international, right? And your ceiling should be in the Premier League, and you're putting in these performances week in, week out. Honestly, I think this is going to sound really horrible, but I hope he snaps his ACL and never plays football again.
No, because you want to sell him to Wrexham, yeah? We want to get him off to Wrexham. Wrexham seem to be buying the Danny Wards off us.
Yeah.
Let's keep this going.
Yeah, we'll give him Winks, and the first game of the season, snap his ACL.
Go on, mate. Don't be that. I mean, get off that fence.
Well, the thing is, Chris, and look at it this way. I could be a lot worse. If you see my video I posted earlier on Twitter, my head loss was monumental on Jack's channel. I don't care about any of these players. Like, don't get me wrong, John James has put in a decent performance this season, but the bar is so low that it doesn't really matter. None of them are fit to wear the shirt. None of them deserve to be here. And if all of them left tomorrow, I wouldn't give a shit. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What's the big people been saying in the chat?
Well, the scores on the doors in the chat, bear in mind we're getting like a game show. Craig, -3, send him to Spurs next season. Unfortunately, the Spurs aren't that stupid, mate, but, they're trying. Mad Jason, 3 on the pitch, 0 off. Seems fair to split your scores on this one. Paul, on the pitch, 0, off it, -5, and a word coward. It seems legitimate. Ryan just said Jordan James just won Championship Young Player of the Year. Well done, Jordan James. It sums it up. He could have, unfortunately, he couldn't carry a whole team on his back, could he, Ryan? Prashant, 2. I like to call him Wicks there, like John Wicks. Being the backbone of midfield, he offers nothing, doesn't care about the club or fans, time to part ways. And Clibo, 0, offers nothing going forward, poser. People are coming to my way of thinking the more the show goes on. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Right, that was Mr. Winks. And we move on to Mr. Fatawu, Tom.
Oh, right. So pros, let's see. Had a couple of moments where he got behind in the first half. Didn't do anything with it, but got behind people. That's, that's a bit late now, but promising, I suppose. Cons, here we go. I've got a long list here. Really weak on the ball. Far too easy for the opposition to read him and to pinch it off because he's scared of being tackled. Has a shit habit in the game. If the game doesn't go his way, he then generally disappears after 30 minutes of trying, hinting at a poor attitude again. Ruined a superb counter-attack that Daka led, overhit the pass to kill the momentum, which Maradidi had to then keep in, and then Pompey got everyone back. Ended up just endlessly smacking the ball off opposition defenders when he ended up getting towards the end of the game. Couldn't find a pass through them. I think he just wanted the ball away from him and just smacked it off their legs every time. So yeah, really, really disappointing. 0.
Oh, okay. He's been very harsh, Steve, I'll tell you.
We didn't win.
Well, yeah, if we'd won the game, maybe they'd got a 1 off you. Let's have a look at Mr. Fatawu. Had 2 shots. Guess what? None were on target. He made 29 passes, but with 76% success rate. Again, I wish I could see how many crosses he put in. There's a couple of times when he got down the byline. I tell you what annoyed me about him. He was going down more often than my wife ever did. I mean, every time I looked at him, he was on the. Let me finish. He was on the floor. I mean, and the referee. I mean, it was a shit referee, Gavin Ward. Anyway, I think he's ex-Prem, but he was. get up and fight. And he was walking off arguing with the referee. Why? He's not giving it. He gets a 1 from me. Steve?
Oh, okay. So, do you want a perfect analogy of Abdul Fattah? It's not even an analogy. Okay, sorry, it's very cold. Sums up Abdul Fattah yesterday. The dive in the second half, where he cut inside of goes across the player, and rather than putting the ball into the box, he dived, and then he was like, and then 10 minutes later, he got challenged. We were then attacking down the wing, and he was laying on the floor and not even bothering to get up and there was nothing wrong with him. The player that has all the talent in the world, but clearly doesn't want to miss the World Cup and doesn't want to miss getting a move away from his football club in the summer. You can tell since the end of January that he just hasn't given a shit, doesn't want to be here, and he's just pulling out of challenges. He's somebody that I quite liked, as a player, but the more time has gone on, he's just shown that he's a petulant idiot. And yeah, good riddance to him. I give him a 0. I give him a negative, but I think 0 is fair because he's non-existent. So yeah, off you go, mate. Enjoy wherever you turn up. I don't care.
He's like the second Youri Tielemans for us. Tielemans did this at the start of the relegation season, was doing everything pretty much on his own to get us out of it, and then he just completely fell off a cliff and gave up.
Yep.
Maybe he feels that nobody else is doing what, putting the effort in. But I mean, have we brought this on ourselves? Look, we've licked this guy's arse. When he was out injured, like I think you said, Tom, or somebody said, we followed him around with the camera, how good he is, and then did this video when he came back. Are we showing this guy, like I said, too much respect that he doesn't deserve?
Yeah, clearly. I think he's a talented player, don't get me wrong, but it happens with every Leicester player that goes off injured or isn't been in the team for 5, 6, 7 games, is that you then hype them up to where, when they come back, they're shit. You're like, oh, well, and then they go away for 10 games and you go, actually, he's world class, isn't he? Let's give him an opportunity. So, yeah, he falls into that category. He was good in the Championship. He unfortunately got the injury in the Premier League, which meant that he missed a significant amount of time. And since then, the odd wonder goal. And what pisses me off the most is that goal he scored against Ipswich. He's then tried that move 4 separate times since. Doing it once is incredible, right? Don't try it again because you're not good enough to do it. Yeah, he's going to get a move. He'll have a decent career, but for me, he's also part of the problem as well because he's got all the talent, but he's clearly switched off.
What summed him up for me was because on the link we were watching, I don't know if you had the same, Tom. I had Portsmouth. Solent Radio, BBC Radio Solent, whatever it is, commentators. And at one point, one of the commentators turned around to his co-commentator and actually said, "How much did Leicester pay for him?" Totally summed it up.
It shows you how we could devalue the price of gold as a football club. We're that terrible at being run.
Yes, yeah. His crosses were really poor in the first half, and so he wasted City's best chances to attack the Portsmouth box. He did get around his man more often in the second period, but to little effect. So actually gets a 4 off Jordan.
That's basically a 0 for Jordan, isn't it? Yeah. Should we see what everyone else said quickly here? 2 from Jason, 2 from Craig, Fatawu, 3 from Prashant. He shows a lot more he actually plays, but yeah, apply himself better. Well said, mate. And we got Clibo with 1, awful attitude. Nice, Jimmy. Nice to see you, mate. 1. And Paul's gone Fatawu 2. The worldly goals have dried up. Exactly. Yeah, plays very selfishly, doesn't he? There shows you that's a disconnect problem up at the top of the pitch between the defence and midfielders, and even the 3 of them up top look like they don't like each other. Big problems.
Yeah. Well, talking about the 3 up top, let's go into the middle there, Tom, and go Bobby Dakova-Reid.
Yeah, okay. So 1 pro I got, showed moments of energy for about 20 minutes. I sort of saw, ran around and, did a few, it showed a bit better energy, similar to Luke Thomas, really, actually. Cons, never really visible in the game enough again. You can see him do a little bit of good link-up play, then you don't see him again for 10, 15 minutes. It's like he's gone to the toilet or something. I wish he demanded more of everyone else in that energy, what he has, but then he sort of gets like the rest of them and starts dropping his arms a bit and all the rest of it. And I think he could have done more to help us have a better performance in the game. So I've given him a 1.
Ooh,
1's quite high for me today.
It is, actually, yes. It's your second highest score.
It is.
I have gone slightly higher than you. I've gone 2 because I think he at least he does try. He does try. Unfortunately, I don't think he's a starter. I don't think he's a 90-minute player. But he does, like I say, if only he'd use that experience to get people, doing the same. 76 minutes he played. I'd have preferred him not to have played the last 76 minutes and then the last 14 or whatever it is. And I think he plays better there. 2 shots, 1 on target, 16 passes, 94% pass accuracy, which is, let's be honest with you, that's very good. And he's actually got an expected goals, although it was 0.04. He actually did at least get a +1 for that. So I've gone 2 for him.
Fair enough. Yeah. I do wonder with the 94% pass accuracy, if that's maybe he was holding up some of the transition play the more the game went on. Early on, he made some good little transitions with Daka and people, but after that, it dried up.
Yeah. Steve, are you still there?
I'm still here, yeah. Bobby Choudhury is the epitome of this football club in the sense of he's a zebra crossing for me, completely ineffectual, but occasionally, makes something that stops play and just fucks everyone off. The amount of times he got the ball yesterday and passed it backwards rather than forwards was incredibly frustrating. And he's somebody that does it all the time. I don't know what his best position is. Is he a winger? Is he a 10? At this point, who the fuck knows? It's a case of rolling a dice and hoping something sticks.
Well, the BBC actually have him down as an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, well, I mean, the BBC's never been wrong before, Chris, has it? Let's be honest. But I think Tom, you're fair. I think a 1 is okay. He wasn't the worst player, but he's by far an outstanding talent for the football club. And his contract's up in the. Is it up in the summer? Or has he still got another year?
He's got another year.
Oh, great! We're going to see Bobby in the Championship in League One. That'd be nice. Oh.
Well, he may be settling into his level. Let's have a look what Jordan said about Choudhury. He was poor on the ball in the first half. His passes either failing to find their mark or the Jamaican passing behind teammates to slow down attack. Yeah, exactly. He barely touched the ball in the second half. He got a 3.
Fucking hell. That's a minus for Jordan, that.
That's a minus for Jordan. Yeah, we're all kind of in the same ballpark, though, aren't we? Which is interesting. The only problem is with all these players we go about, maybe they'll do something in League One, is you then go, look at the money they're going to be paid in League One. It's insane. Yeah, he's on the bench for 30 grand a week. Yeah, that sounds great to me. Some scores in the chat.
Relegation clauses, let's not forget. They do have relegation clauses.
Oh, he'll be on 20 grand a week in League One instead. That'd be nice.
What's
he going to do with his life?
I know. Average wage in League One's like 10 grand at most. Now probably 5 grand, actually. It's even worse. Matt Jason's gone 4. Sorry, mate. Carry on, Steve. You got something to say?
I was going to say, just look at Lincoln, right? Their average wage is 3,500 in League One. And obviously they're going to get promoted to the Championship. Leicester's will be on average. I think the average wage for Leicester will be like 16 grand. So significantly higher.
Yeah.
It's like literally going to Lidl's and paying an extra 10 quid on top of your tomato ketchup's normal price just because you want to. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Matt Jason's got a 4 for Bobby. We got Craig's gone 1, missing again. Prashant, Bobby 4. Expected more from him given the start of the season, but I wouldn't start him on Tuesday. And that's kind of the thing. He's not a stamped a place, has he, guys, at all? Deckled over read from Paul there. 1, a bit like the rest of the forwards, didn't really notice them. Clibbo, 2 for effort only. We don't use him to our advantage. I'd be on him more like you, mate. And Richard has just said there, he's a 10, never a winger. I think arguably you're probably right, mate.
Right. That was the position he was playing, of course, was the 10.
Yeah, they played him on the right side, I think, at Fulham. But I think if he plays as an inside 4, not as, like it's sort of an attacking midfielder, just off the right side, it can be all right. I don't know.
Yeah. Got you there, Steve. Right, let's go over. Fuck's sake. Mabadidi. Come on, Tom. You go first. Let me see if I can calm down.
I got 1 pro. He did his best to keep him. Fatawu's also awful pass on the counter attack and found Thomas well there. Cons just not in the game at all. Apart from that, looks like Tom Hanks and Castaway on his own a lot. And when a football comes to him, he seems to shout and want to get it away from him as far as possible. Frustrated, and he's become ineffective. Looks like he was just hiding all the time. And I can't really remember him doing anything of note. And I've said this for weeks. There's no point playing him. He's on 20 odd games now about doing anything. Richard said, there did he play? So he's got another 0.
Right. something that's coming up later, you'll probably understand when I say my mark here. This guy, it's not like he's a youngster. I mean, you could say to Fatawu, he's maybe still learning his trade. This guy is in his late 20s. He's been in the Premier League. He's been abroad. The guy is just... Hi, Reese. I thought you were on a date night tonight. you bumped her off. And the guy... I want him out of my club again. So many of these I want out of my club. Fuck off, Steffi. Go and play. You know, you'll do well in Scotland, to be honest with you. Although I do pity Scotland if you do go up there, because it's or a league like that is not as good as the Championship. Maybe like Belgium or somewhere.
He's not as good as Choudhury. Not as good as Choudhury.
He gets -5 from me.
Oh, -5. Hello.
Steve.
Right, so Bilal El Khanous has had 2 assists this season for Leicester, and he's now left the club, right? He played 3 games or less than 3 games for us. Steffi's got 1 assist all season. I have had better food poisoning experiences than I have watching Steffi Mavididi play for Leicester. I would take the most explosive shits that have to witness him play for Leicester again. Get him gone. He gets a 0. Actually, no. We get a -10. He's a god-awful footballer that thinks he's better than he actually is. Get out of my club.
But we're going to have fun this season, right?
Get us a bucket because I've shit in it.
Knowing the guy, look, if he concentrated on doing his job rather than all he does, and he doesn't even do much with the ball, but when we think he's doing this fancy footwork, all he's done is he's made the ball move forward and then he passes his foot over it. And that's it. Yeah. So he's not actually doing anything with the ball. And then by the time he's decided what the fuck he wants to do with it, he's got an extra second defender on him. No. And that's a no from me. He had 1 shot which wasn't on target. He made 8 passes, that's all, 75% on target. He won his 1 tackle. Didn't create any chances.
Which was his mistake, by the way. The only reason he won that tackle is because he made the mistake.
Well, very true, probably. Very true. Are you ready for Jordan's?
Yeah.
There was a moment in the first half where he tripped over the ball, and that summed up his afternoon. Did not make an impact in an attacking sense at all. 3, and that is seriously bad for Jordan to say that on that. Fair play to Jordan. His highest has been a 5. Sorry, mate. Go through the thing.
That's all right. As I say, Richard said did he play, which probably will classify as a 0. Mate, you're right. Sorry, Steve. Oh, he's gone. I think Steve's phone's dying, mate. Clibo's got a 0. Waste of time. Yeah, I think you're right. Reese, -1,000. We probably should set a limit on the amount of minus we could go here, but
10 is the limit because we can go up to 10. Therefore, I'm allowed to go down to -10.
-1.6 million is fair.
A voice from the crowd.
That's what he's taken from Leicester City's bank account in his career here, isn't it? Anyway,
he's home.
He's back. Mad Jason's gone 1. Paul's gone, why the hell is Stiffy still in the squad? So 0. Craig's gone -1, not worth being in the team. Mavididi, 2 from Prashant, offered nothing and I can't get a read on him. Not sure he cares anymore. And that is the scores on the doors for that one. I think Mavididi's been the harshest one so far, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Reese has got, all right, -10 then. Right, here we go. Before we get to the subs, we've got the goal-scoring machine that is the guy that Rowett wants, or one of the 2 guys that Rowett wants to put his trust in, or has put his trust in. Double Daka the other week. Oh, he's not scored a goal since. Who knew? Patson Daka, Tom.
Well, I'm surprised he scored more after Cheltenham. I said to you at the Cheltenham game, my God, that's his only goal of the season. We wasted it in the FA Cup. Pro started the game looking lively. Link-up play was better than usual for a little bit of the game. Had a good header on goal, which actually, to be fair to him, was the only chance of the game I'd look at and go, I don't think he could have done better. It was a pretty good header, but it was a good save. Cons, I mean, he needed to be primed and ready to take more chances. I mean, that one-on-one chance he had, if you look back at it, he did not get moving quick enough. He sort of waited a couple of seconds, and if he'd gone, he would have been able to nick it round the keeper and then get past him rather than just slamming it off his legs and losing the opportunity. It was really frustrating, that. And it's just, I mean, that's, you know, in this whole team, like Vestergaard was doing it as well. They switch off and just like, then they go, oh, the ball's coming towards me, I better go. The body language, the focus wasn't really there again like the rest of the squad. Yeah, and just like I said, it not a fully engaged performance. And it makes you wonder what these players could do if they were fully engaged. I've given him a 2, though.
A 2? Funny enough, we'll have a Desmond, because I've given him a 2 as well. Look, he puts the effort in, probably more than any other player on the pitch, in fairness, occasionally Thomas, but he does put the effort in. What I liked about him was the fact that he was closing the keeper down. When the ball was played back to the keeper, he was closing him down. So that's what you can ask of him. But I say, a bit like Akinbaye, but doesn't even score Akinbaye's goals. But he does put the effort in, and he should have got us a penalty.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. That was one of the referees. But it shows you how annoyed we are. We're not leaning on these decisions, doesn't it?
Yeah. So he would have got a 3, but he drops 1 for missing that sitter. So he gets a 2 from me. Steve.
Yeah, gets a 2 from me. He is like the little bunny that the race hounds chase. You know, he runs around a lot, but he doesn't really offer anything other than that. The opportunity where he was one-on-one with the keeper. Look, if that was a Jamie Vardy, it's around. You know, he puts it around the keeper, runs onto it, and puts it in the back of the net. Daka unfortunately has too much time to think, which is his Achilles heel effectively. So just not good enough. And another player that, for all the money was spent on him, 27 goals in total in his time at Leicester, just isn't good enough for a player in this division, or even any division. He'll go on to have a decent career. I hope my cat's here. Hello. But a 2. It's just poor.
Yeah. It's. Did we have? Well, is he going this season or is it next season? He's going
this season.
This season, yeah.
Thank God.
Can you imagine if they gave him a contract extension?
Chris, don't. I'm not looking forward to next season, but I am as well, because at least we'll have some players here that I can get behind. Because by all accounts, you look at the players that are out of contract and leaving from the loan spells, we're going to have to sign 10 to 14 players. So it's going to be a brand new squad. So I just hope they're not here. None of them. If I see Jordan Ayew starting, you know, the first home game of the season because he signed a 1-year deal, I might. No, I can't say that. Terms and conditions, but just say it won't be very good. It won't be very good.
No. Well, I've got to say, here is when he's picking the team, Gary Rowett. This is how he decides that Daka's going to be up front. And we all know that's how he gets in the team.
I forgot you had that one because we've not seen it in ages.
I saw it 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I think Chris likes that one. He loves bringing it up.
What can I say? And you both sat down, gentlemen.
Yes. My chair won't break this time, like has happened on this show before.
He had a strong chance for a penalty, played a great pass to Fatawu in one attack, and pressed well in the first half. He attacked his second half header well too, but lacked conviction for the late one-on-one. Like you said, Steve, I think, you know, if he hadn't had time to think about that, he might have been able to do something. He gets, and I don't believe I'm actually gonna say this, but he gets a 5. You just don't react anymore now to Jordan's scores. You've become numb to them, haven't you?
I mean, to be honest, and look, me and Brad have agreed on this for many months, and it's not very often me and Brad agree on quite a lot of things. But I don't think Jordan watches the game. I think he turns up to the stadium, enjoys the hospitality, and then just stares at a wall for 90 minutes because some of his decision making, I mean, it borders on Gary Rowett being manager. Some of the decision making just doesn't make any sense. But hey, fair enough. If, Jordan, you crack on, mate. You crack on. Earn a living somewhere, that's for sure.
He enjoys the hospitality too much, and that's the trouble.
Yes.
For him, he was probably thinking, "Oh, Leicester are playing well in blue."
Well, that's it. Yeah. Oh God.
That's what we do. Right, here we go then. Substitutes.
I'm going to quickly do the chat. Sorry, Chris. I know we want to go.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, no, you have to remind me.
Mad Jason's gone free. We're trying to make it more involved with everyone, aren't we? Reese, 4, tried as hard, is not good enough. 4 from Paul there for at least trying. I'll leave yours, Kevin, because we'll come back to that later. -3, was he even playing? Or it might be a 3 there, I'm not sure. 2, effort, but Jesus Christ, fair enough. Richard's gone. I thought Daka was okay. I know people are angry at everything, but he was okay. 4. Prashant Daka, 3. I like the guy, but he needs to have that better instincts. He should have scored better. He reminds me of Marcus Rashford. When they started overtraining him, he started losing what he was naturally good at. So it's interesting. We're all on a similar path with Patson Daka, aren't we?
Yeah. Now, we only made 3. Well, we made 4 substitutions, but the last guy came on, Aluko, for a few. I wasn't even worth scoring, so I haven't included him. And Jordan hasn't scored him anyway. But Jordan James, Tom.
Yeah, I've got a little bit here. I've got a little bit on these guys. Pro's made a good crossfield ball to Vestergaard for his chance. So after he came on, where he obviously struck it, he had a few drives with the ball. He's obviously not fit due to his injury, and we have concerns probably about that as well. Has to play alongside the rest of the players, so he's got a bad score, but it's not his fault. I gave him a 2 because we didn't win.
I've given him a 3. At least at the end of the game, he actually looked pissed off. He was down on his haunches, and if 4 or 5 of the main, of our own players showed what he shows as a loanee, I think we'd have had a better season. He gets a 3 from me. Steve?
Yeah, he gets a 3 from me as well. He's a player that, we should try our hardest to sign in the summer. I don't think he'll come here, unfortunately. But by all accounts, he's happy and, he's well settled in the area. It's just a shame because he will go on and have a decent career. He's a bit like KDH in that sense, where I think that he could actually be a really good player in the Premier League. But yeah, unfortunately, he's surrounded by people that just don't give a shit. But
as we know them, knobs.
Yeah, well, I go harsher than that, Chris, to be honest. But I don't want you to get you cancelled. So, but yeah, I think that he's unfortunate, but he's the one player that can hold his head high this season, and there'll be no hate towards him.
Did he win the Young Player of the Year award for the Championship this year? I've got to check. That was tonight, apparently.
Yes, he did. He's won it, and then Louis Page won the Academy Player of the Year, which is typical Leicester for 2 of our players to win awards for the EFL and get relegated.
I can't quite believe that. That's ridiculous.
One of them has hardly played anything for the first team. It's like
exactly.
It's like you can imagine being picked for England, and yet not being picked for the main team. It's weird, isn't it?
Very odd.
Yeah.
Clibo's gone. Oh, sorry, you go Jordan first, mate. I'm fucking this up now.
Jordan went 4. He looked slightly fitter than he did when he came on last week, but still not enough to influence the game in any way. Like I say, gets a 4. Let me ask you this, gentlemen, before you go to the score. If he showed the slightest bit of interest in him, is he the sort of player that we should maybe push the boat out as much as we can? And we know we can't go push the boat out very far, but push the boat out and be the player that we build the team round?
Yes.
Yep, I'd agree. So I don't think his wage is that much of a problem. He's not on massive wages, this guy. I mean, but obviously he might have interest from elsewhere now. So I think if we did offload a load of players, it's not outside the realm of possibility if he settled in Leicestershire or, the Midlands. So I'd like to think he'd like to be part of the revolution. So maybe.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's important to point out that whilst we're all doom and gloom around the football club, Leicester itself going down to League One gives an opportunity for managers that, because we talked about it in the which manager you want sort of situation earlier this week. The club itself is a big club, and in League One it will be a draw for players and managers because A, we'll pay money because that's what we do, and B, if it's only a year, then great. They'll come in, ingrain themselves in the football club. They'll up their price, and if they don't go up, then they'll get sold anyway. But if they do go up, they'll be looking to potentially push on and get into the playoffs the season after. So he's somebody that I would build the squad around, because he's the epitome of a player that cares and tries, and we need that more often than not. So yeah, if you can sign him, and you can, I don't want to break the bank too much, because you don't want to give him 60, 70 grand a week, but if he comes on an okay wage and is happy to be here, then do it. I would pull the trigger today if I could.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think Reece must be shagging Doris the tea lady. He said, sorry if you sat with your girlfriend, Reece. I shouldn't have said that. My source has said he really loves it here and is really happy to stay even in League One, but the club haven't approached him. Ooh.
Transfer market has it at £10,000 a week. So,
yeah. So there is somebody in our chat that is around his dad, and apparently his dad said that the club haven't approached him as of yet. So fun.
In fairness, maybe the club are waiting to see where we are. I mean, we all know where we are, but they're waiting to see where we are officially before they hand out contracts. I don't know. Tom.
Quickly, 3 from Clibo there, not fit yet. Mad Jason's gone 4. Prashant, you've gone for a 5. We're running out of time, but guys, I'm just going to give the scores here. Paul's gone for a 3, and Craig's gone for a 4. I think everyone in the same ballpark again with JJ. Yeah.
Lucasa.
Oh my goodness me. Pros brought a little upturn in energy for a moment, like JJ, but it was like lighting a match. It was gone 2 seconds later. He's just too lightweight for this, and looks like he's lost interest already and kind of wants to go home, which I understand. It's like a holiday that's gone wrong when you've got it from the Sun magazine, isn't it? Newspaper, sorry, for like £5. So I gave him a 1.
Gave him a 1. I've given him a 2. He's not the player that I thought he was going to be. When he first came in, he got my man of the match for a couple of weeks. Kate was even saying we should be playing him up front in the number 9 position. But yeah, it's obviously doesn't want to be here. And again, I'm in the position of, once we are down, which will be on Tuesday for the last couple of games, dump him, because he's not going to be here next season. So why even have him in the squad? Like Rude did with Buenete. I just don't get those sort of decisions. It's a 2 from me. Steve?
Gets a 1, and it's a 1 because as Tom said, he did try a little bit, but my God, that free kick in the 92nd minute, the box is loaded, and you do that, get the fuck out. And that's the first time I heard boos when that free kick happened, because what are you thinking? Put it in the box. But the biggest issue there is that he ties that shot and none of our players react. If that was me, I'd be bollocking him for that. But 1, and good riddance. Back to Man City you go, mate. Enjoy the academy life, because you're not good enough to be in the Championship.
Yeah. Right. He got into shooting positions well, but saw efforts blocked. He didn't shoot from long range. Free kick late on was a bad one. That's probably understatement. Like, no shit, Sherlock, really. He got 4 off Jordan, which is probably 2 or 3 too many.
Yeah.
Look at Steve's face.
Reece has gone for 1. Prashant's gone for 3. Paul, you've gone for 2. That free kick, there's 2 of them in a row, 2 weeks in a row. 1 from Clibo, 2 from Craig there, and Craig's off now. Lovely job, mate. See you next time. So I think we all agreed it's a lost cause for him now. What a shame, because no loan players, apart from the ones at the start of the season. Well, JJ probably the only one actually has come in and actually made any difference to this team. The rest of them never should have bothered with.
I would argue that there's a fair few loan players that haven't been given the chance.
Oh yeah, Richard should have been.
Yeah. Richard's a Rebo, but there we go.
This is what happens when you leave your transfer business to the last day of the season.
100%. Yeah. Or when your transfer business is done before your new manager comes in.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
There is a saying out there, and there was a song out there as well by Vanessa Williams that save the best till last. Now, that doesn't apply in this case, because it's Jordan Ayew.
Oh no, we're not talking about the Sheffield Wednesday game, are we? I think the pro is he didn't let Mavridini look any worse because there was nothing different between them, particularly from what I saw. Interesting enough, when he was warming up, he looked like he could barely walk. I'm not trying to take the piss out of him. He generally looked like he was struggling. He was hobbling when he was trying to warm up. Very bizarre. Cons, yeah, just walked around getting frustrated with everything, like a lot of the bad attitudes we got in the club. 0.
Well, it's one of those where did he come on? You know, if I'd gone off for a shit when the subs were made and I came back, I wouldn't have known he was on. He did nothing to change anything. You know, at least the other, well, Jordan James did okay. Mukasa at least. I just don't know what he did. I mean, if we have a look at his stats, he played 14 minutes, no shots, none on target, no assist, no chances created, 1-2 fouls, 2 passes, both of them completed, -5. Just fuck off and get away. Not you, Steve. Jordan Ayew.
Right, Jordan Ayew. So I've been very critical of Jordan over my time on this channel, and I stand by every single bit of it, to be honest. I've had more joy standing in dog shit than I have watching Jordan Ayew. Like, I think I've moved around more standing in jobs. Do you know when you do it and you jump up and down the spot trying to see where you stood in it? That's what it's like watching Jordan Ayew. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is with Jordan Ayew, it's like standing in dog shit, cleaning your shoe, and then standing in the same dog shit that you just wiped off. He's an awful footballer that doesn't want to be here, that gets paid too much money. And yes, okay, look, he's been abused by the fans. Whether you agree with that or not, I think sometimes it can be harsh. And why would you try if you're going to get booed as soon as you come on? I understand that as well. I personally have never booed the guy coming on the pitch. I'll boo him going off the pitch, but not coming on the pitch because I don't think that's right. But look, I never want to see Jordan Ayew step foot into the football stadium again. If there was a chance for us to all link arms to stop him from going in the club, I would do it tomorrow. So yeah, for me, -10. Don't want to see him again, and I will happily step in more dog shit rather than watching him play football.
In fact, you probably is standing in the shit that he's probably done.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Oh god, he stinks out the place like dog shit. That's for sure.
Yeah, you sure you don't have to think about that? You're sticking with that thought, are you?
I am, and again, I apologise that you guys were having your show beforehand, and I've come in and I've just used a lot of shit analogies, but I think it works, right?
He will.
Steve, it's what I normally bring, mate. You're just doubling up on Chris with me, bud.
I actually a while ago did when I do the things where you pick your team and what have you, and I just literally had I think because of Jordan James I didn't do one for, but the other 10 players they all had shit emojis on them. He got a 4 off Jordan Ayew.
Jordan,
no, he got a 4 off Jordan Blackwell.
Did he get a 4?
Yeah,
no, that's the one. What?
Yeah, he got
Jordan
a 4.
sniffing glue.
But what he said was, didn't make an impact in City's attack, and gave him 4.
And you get a 4. Oh, no, calm down, Steve. You calm down for the evening. Let's not get angry again.
I'm sorry. It's definitely the words of a man who doesn't want his press pass rescinded. I'll say that now, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah. Should we get to the scores on the doors in the chat here?
Yeah.
Right. Prashan, Ayew1, forgot he was there. Me too, mate. That's why I said he was exactly the same as Mavridini. Forgot he was there, like for like. And I think that's the only score we got that one because everyone else was so offended they didn't put one in. Fair play to you all.
I've just got to mention Paul there. Devilgate Drive was the song by Susie Quattro. It was indeed. And get on to DorsetRivieraRadio.co.uk. Scroll down, click listen again. Go for Weekend Breakfast Show, 19 April. It's 3 hours. Go to the last hour, and you'll hear my wonderful interview with said lady. In fact, I might be able to. Oh, yes, I did bring the wrong one up. And you will see that I actually like green here. There you go. Look at that. What a woman. What a woman. 75 and she's still rocking on stage as well. And 75 and I still wouldn't stand a chance with her.
And she'd still do a better job than Jordan Ayew at 75.
She would. I've seen her tomorrow night. I'll see if she'll come sign up front for us. Right. Manager.
Oh my God! Right, I'll get this over with. Pros, I couldn't find any really. I mean, this is the worst thing to say. This is going to rile everyone up, but at least he does acknowledge that things are getting worse. And the more weeks go on, the more he protects the players less. I'm sure there's more he would like to say, but we know this group's been mollycoddled for a long time, and you can't say it because otherwise Teflon John will probably lose his mind. Cons, the lineup. I mean, Hamza in for Skip didn't change anything. Was never going to change anything even before you even pick it, was it? I don't understand the purpose in that at all, and really poor to see him again not make changes quick enough. I mean, we've banged on about this for weeks and weeks. The opposition always makes changes before we do. Doesn't really change the shape. He did it quicker this game and Vestergaard up front probably 15 minutes to go, I think, if I remember correctly, but then he sort of came back a bit as well. But once again, just it's been far too reactive, all of this, and not brave enough to introduce a new formation for any game so far, including this one where he probably could have needed it. So a 0.
0, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think you can probably guess from that graphic the way that mine's going. I think he is a total bullshitter. Yeah, well remembered, same shit, different arsehole. He talks bullshit as far as I'm concerned. You know, he promises so much and he doesn't stick to it. Look, if he can't, because he's not being allowed to. You know, he's being told to play 4-2-3-1, or he's being told to play Ayew or whatever you. Then what? You know, then he hasn't got a pair of balls. He's flushed the balls down that toilet along with his shit.
I still wonder if it is the fact he hasn't brought his assistant manager with him. It just clocked me this week. The fact that we've done this with Rude, we've done this with a lot of managers. They've not been able to have the staff they would usually want, and it's always failed. Like Gerrard did at Aston Villa.
Why would he? He's got Adam Sadler there.
And Andy King. My vision of getting Pearson back would have worked. Piggy worked with him at Bristol City.
I was being more sarcastic about Adam Sadler. I wasn't going to include Andy King in there. But, you know, would you want to bring... I mean, you know, why would you bring in anybody like Jurgen Klopp or anybody like that when you've got Adam Sadler in your backstage? I'm sorry, he's had enough chances. If he has agreed that deal when he signed, then he hasn't got the balls and he's simply here for the pay packet. And in all those reasons, he gets a -10 off me.
Fair enough. I think he is checked out. And he checked out weeks ago because he can't change anything with this squad. And look, he didn't even come over and clap the fans yesterday. He was straight down the tunnel. Doesn't care. I liken it to when I got the norovirus from going to a place to eat in Norfolk, right? I've never felt that ill before in my life. And guess what? I went back 6 months later and got norovirus again, right? He's picked the shit and then thought, oh, well, you know, I don't want to change it. I'm going to keep picking the shit. So he's effectively gone back to the same restaurant over and over again to eat the same meal and have the same outcome. He doesn't give a shit. He's here for the pay. He won't walk away because he'll get a big payout. He won't be here next season because I don't want him here and I just don't think he wants to be here either. This will be the biggest job he'll ever have in his career. And in all honesty, he's fucked it up himself. He could have picked some of the other players. He could have picked some of the younger lads that were wanting to try. And he hasn't. He's picked Jordan Ayew and Patson Daka and everybody else that week in, week out have let the club down, let the fans down and let themselves down. So, yeah, good riddance. Thanks, Gary. You were a shit player and you're a shit manager. -10.
Somebody put, when we got relegated under Peter Taylor, wasn't he in the team?
Yes, he was. He was a right back. Yeah.
Double relegation for Leicester. Well done, that Gary.
What's interesting about it is he identified some of the problems in the first week. The first post-match interview, he said, I can't really trust this player because of what they've shown in training to bring it onto the pitch. And then he just didn't act on it. So it's even more baffling to me how you see it and then don't do it.
That's what I'm saying. Bullshitting.
It's weird.
Sorry, Steve, what was your
the young lads might not be good enough to make the step up, right? That's something that we all have to accept. That might be the case. But if Aluko can make the bench, why is he not coming on to replace Ricardo at right back? Why is Hamza Choudhury be the one coming on?
Well, he did in about the 88th minute.
Well, he did, but in the previous games, he's not been in the squad or anywhere near the first team. Or he might have been in the squad or on the bench, but he's never fucking played. And he picks Hamza instead, who offers literally nothing. I would rather play 10 men than play Hamza Choudhury. His afro does more running than he does. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, they should be prioritising playing the younger lads. I know you want to get out of relegation, but if Tuesday comes and we have an almost unchanged lineup from Saturday, and this is going to sound really horrible because I know some people won't agree with it, and that's fine, but I hope the entire stadium boos the fuck out of them all game, because that's what they deserve, and the manager deserves it too. He's picking these dickheads.
Yeah, no, you're right. What did you give him? Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, -10.
You agreed with me. Do you want to just quickly run through Bekovic? What would you have given him?
5. He was fine. I don't think he was an issue. He probably could have come for the cross, but overall he was fine.
Just running through them quickly. Ricardo?
Looked like he gave a shit. I give him a 3.
3. Lascelles?
3. He was there.
One man and his dog? Vestergaard?
I think he's come back and he looks fat, you know. It sounds really horrible coming from me, but I think he's put some timber on. He's not the slimmest he's ever been. But he is putting the effort in more than most. I think if he was playing this season, we'd probably have more points. I give him a 4. He was fine.
4. Luke Thomas?
Mr. Thomas, the only person I've ever met to have a long throw that is as ineffectual as my long throws, and they're not very long. He was fine. I don't think he was to be. You know, he's been consistently shit, but shit is better than what we've been served up with everyone else. So a 4.
Finally, Choudhury.
Oh, fucking -10. What a waste of space going off and having a go at the fans. And oh, look at my hairline. Mate, fuck off. No one gives a shit, right? Honestly, you're laughing to all the away fans whilst you're getting relegated. You should have gone fucking years ago. You've never been good enough. And I never want to see you play for this football club again. Off you fuck.
I think that's what I said about him pretty much. Tom,
yeah.
What has everybody been saying about the manager?
Oh, we've only really had 1 or 2, and I think everyone like us has just lost the will to live a bit, reliving it. Clibo's gone for 0. Fair enough, mate. Prashant, is that a 3? Oh, that's low for you, Prashant. A 3, as Chris says, same shit, different arsehole. And I hope I haven't missed anyone. I don't believe I have, but let's put it this way: there's no one in the chat defending Gary Rowett, is there? So
no. Right. Let me get this back up then, and then we can carry on. We've only got a couple of things left now. Match ham sandwich. I'll go first on this because it's always me that tends to sort of give it out. So for me, it could have gone to 5, 6, 7, 8 players. For me, it's gone to 1, and I couldn't even give it to the manager. I'm just fed up with giving it to him. I have gone for Stefan Mavididi. Because I don't think he brings anything to the party. All he does is move the ball forward and then move his foot over it, like I've said. No assist, like you said, Tom, at the weekend. No assist in about 500 games. What is the point of him? He's just taking up somebody else's oxygen. So that's who I awarded it to. Tom, who would you give it to?
I'll do what I did the last time. I mean, I think ironically for what we said about Hamza and Winksy, I actually gave it to Fatawu because I think ultimately he had the best opportunities to maybe do something to get us a goal or help us get a goal, and just disappeared after that. 0.
Steve?
I'm going to liken this to a Subway sandwich where it's a foot long and you can put all of the dickheads in there. I think I can't pick an individual player. I think they all deserve to be in there. Every single person that is complicit at this football club deserves to be in that sandwich. So everyone, including the bus driver who didn't shut the door on Harry Winks as he was stepping in. That would have been nice to see.
Oh, imagine we trapped his fingers. That'd been right karma, wouldn't it? That's a good one from Prashant, set piece coach as well.
Yeah,
what does he do?
Yes, yeah. No, I agree with you, mate. He was there a couple of weeks ago, winning it. Team performance. Tom.
Oh, well, I gave him a 0, so it's not going to change now, is it? And I've not. It wasn't an emotional answer because I think the emotion's been drained out for me by the soulless performance of Leicester City Football Club. They'd be great Ghostbusters, Leicester City, because they've taken me and put me into a proton pack or whatever they call it. 0.
I think I gave them a 2. I'm questioning myself now, but it was quite high, wasn't it? Wayne did agree with me though. Steve, your team performance as a whole?
Yeah, 0. Literally no fight whatsoever in that football club. It's like being the manager of a dog shit factory. They're all dog shit.
Yeah, with the dog poo.
Yeah. I've got a shit tonight. Sorry, guys. I don't know. It's not a fetish. It's definitely not a fetish. I think what it was is I walked home and I walked past one of the biggest shits I've ever seen. So I think that's what's gone into my brain. I keep seeing the dog, and then I realised, oh wait, no, hang on, that's not dog shit. That's Harry Winks.
Oh God, I forget who it was. I was watching I was down one of my YouTube rabbit holes the other night, and he ended up on Graham Norton, one of his clips, and he was doing like the famous people, what their fears were and what have you. And one of the guys that was on the Avengers or something, one of his was running around with poo on the end of the stick, chasing after. Maybe that's what you should try, Tom. Not your cattle prod.
Oh yeah. I still think my training method with Sumari, of chasing him around the training pitch with a cattle prod, might have got him running a bit more. He might not have to have left then. Anyway.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat?
Yes. So we got the Sandwich Award for Philbert the Fox and Thunder Fox Debs. Fair enough. I think it's a bit harsh. What's Philbert done this year? He's been trying to cheer children up at least. Paul Rarrett for me again. Fair enough. And on to the manager, a 0 from Clibo. I'm pretty sure that was for the manager. Team performance from Prashant with a 3. Howl for better days, hope for better days. And Paul's gone 0 as well, as that being generous. Stuart's come in late there, and that's an O for team, which we're going to classify as 0. There we go.
Do you know, I should have known that this season was going to be a shit show when I offered a fist bump out to Philbert at the Leuven friendly, and he ignored me. I should have realised at that point we were going to get relegated. That's on me.
I once took a mate of mine who was an Arsenal fan to watch Leicester play, and there was Vicky Vixen as well. And Vicky Vixen came up to him, and he had a cigarette and a beer in his hand. He looked around her and just went, "Fuck off!" Like literally. And I was just like, "Dude, there's kids here. What are you doing?" Literally, she was trying to like flick his ear, and I was like, "Dude, it was hilarious." But yeah,
hey, we could have Gunnosaurus, so let's not too much about Philbert, you know. Right. Now, man of the match. Now, I couldn't give one. I went for the away fans because of having to put up with that shit. Steve, I can see he's agreeing with me. Who did you go for, Tom? Oh, yes.
Oh, I've changed my mind, because I blamed him for the goal now, didn't I, tonight? So it shows you. I can't go for anyone. It's like the club doing an award ceremony for this season. I can't do it. No, 0. There's no one. 0.
So you're gonna go for the away fans as well?
Yeah, the away fans. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Tom. I thought you were talking to me.
No. I was going to say, no, the away fans were great, and well done and fair play for giving it to them. I was going to say this, I know the players don't like it, but unfortunately, the relationship we have as fans to players is you play well, you get cheered, you don't, you get booed. Yeah. Simple as that. It's not complicated, is it?
He's done this twice to me as Alan. Alan who goes to all the matches. Love him to bits. Great guy. Really like him. And he does my performance and man of the match for every game because he's there at the stadium. And he's done this twice before. And once I actually disagreed with him and changed it. The other time I let him. And I let him get away with it this time as well. Because he went for a 3 for the team performance. Which, all right, I don't agree with that. But what I do agree with is his man of the match. And that was no one. He literally said he couldn't give it to anybody there. And he doesn't have the away fans as an option, in fairness.
Can I give you mine would be me. And I'll tell you for why. It sounds very big-headed, right? But I was up at 4:45. I left at 4:15 to get down to Portsmouth. I then spent 2 hours handing out leaflets to away fans who could not give a shit. I'm not going to lie. The amount of people were like, and then I watched that shit show, and then I drove the 4.5 hours home to get back. So, yeah, my day was terrible. So I'm giving it to me. Yeah.
You should have popped in for a coffee. I'm only down the road.
Well, exactly, yeah. And then I got home I ordered myself a large Domino's pizza. I got some fries from KFC and ate an entire bar of Tony's chocolate, and I feel awful today. So yeah, that's on me. So
that's why you're at the gym. Talking about which, mate, just quickly before we go, tell us about this survey and what can be done about it.
Yes, so this is the Foxes Trust end of year survey. Look, I understand that there are people out there that say, well, what's the point? And the club's just going to ignore it. And that's fine. That's your opinion. But the thing is, if you have the chance to give your opinion on the football club, you should give it no matter what. The club will see the survey, and they have an opportunity to talk to the trust about it. We are going to present it to them properly. So, your voice does matter. And the more fans we have fill it out, the better it looks for the trust and the fan base itself. Last year, we got 3,500. This year, we're hoping to double that at least. And look, we got some criticism last year on the trust because some of the questions were quite leading in regards to the ownership and whatever. We've given it out to some professionals who have done this for a living, and we've changed it all up to make sure that it's not leading and you can give your honest opinion about the football club. And that's not just the ownership, it's the transfers, it's the season tickets, food at the stadium, all that sort of stuff, the women's team as well. And I just think it's important for you to have your say. It will take 3 or 4 minutes at most. It's all agree, disagree, strongly agree, etc., etc. There's about 60 odd questions, but it is important. And look, I know I'm not quite a lot of the time. I'm very people like me, dislike me. That's fine. But if I could ask you to do anything, it would be just fill out the survey, because at least you have a voice, and that's what the Foxes Trust is trying to be. It's trying to be a voice for all fans, not just the loudest.
Yeah. Prashant asked for the link again, because I did put the link up during the watch along. So just to know that I did do that for you, and I've just put it up again there for people to click on. So you can click on that, Prashant, and join in.
I've already done the survey, guys, so go and do it. I did it before the game on Saturday, so thank you, Steve, for passing it out to everyone. So I filled it in as well.
No, perfect. And I believe we've hit just under 1,000 people already that's filled it out, and that's without the home games coming up. And annoyingly, I will likely go to Blackburn just to hand out leaflets, so that'll be fun.
No one wants to go Blackburn.
having lived there for 2.5, 3 years, that's probably the best thing you can do in Blackburn, to be honest with you. Actually, no, I'm not going to go. There are better things that I've done, but I'm not going to go there because I could get myself into a lot of trouble. Guys, thank you very, very much for coming on. Steve, straight out the gym and on. I appreciate that. Tom, thanks very much. There's no review show tomorrow night. Well, Steve's not here anyway, but I'm out as well. And I think Brad's losing the will to live, to be honest with you. So we won't be doing one. I'll be wolf whistling at Susie Quattro tomorrow night, and there'll be a lot more fun. I tell you, we will be doing our end of seasons awards, but it'll be a little bit different. It won't be the best things that we saw. It'll be the worst things. So there's plenty to choose from. So that will be going out to all the presenters in the next week or so to get their votes in for that. Tom, thank you very much. Steve, thank you very much. Have a good week. We'll all be there on, well, I won't be there, but we'll be doing the watch along on Tuesday. Steve, you'll be there down in Power. Nearly said Filbert Street then. That was wishful thinking. And thank you to everybody that was in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Do all the normal shit. It is the word of the day, isn't it? Shit. Do all the normal stuff. Click the like, subscribe if you're new, notification. And if you're watching on your mobile, don't forget to hype us as well. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good rest of what is left of Sunday evening. Appreciate you coming on. I'll see you all next week. Take care.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.